Content warning disclaimer. This episode of Fire Breathing Kittens contains mention of Rohypnol. Trigger warning. Involuntary unconsciousness. Children should not listen to this episode.
Welcome everybody to Fire Breathing Kittens, the standalone Dungeons & Dragons podcast. Every episode is a separate complete adventure, so you can listen to them in any order. Today we are joined by Dr. Crud, the third.
Howdy. Don't steal my line, everybody.
And Olive.
Now I have to. Howdy.
And Boltzmann.
Don't tell me what to do. Howdy.
Damn it all.
Good. Off to a flying start. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, our scenario today begins in pitch blackness for everybody. You're pretty much aware of nothing at this moment. You're aware that you exist. You've at least got that going on. But it is in a dark space. So vaguely as the seconds tick by, you start to be aware of these kind of mumbling voices in the background. Over the seconds and the minutes, the voices clarify a little bit and you start to hear the sounds of cackling and jeering. At the same time, you kind of notice this smell around you. It's a musky, it's damp, it's kind of a cloying aroma, fills up your lungs, and you feel like this is probably not that healthy a place to be in. Somewhere between a sort of a poorly tended stable and a public toilet. That's the kind of the atmosphere that we're in right now. So, can we roll initiative?
Damn it, I'm trying to sleep. Why I gotta do that?
15.
Nat 20.
9. Oh,
Right.
plus initiative.
So we're Boltzmann, Olive, Dr. Crud in that order. So Boltzmann, you're kind of the first one that starts to come to. You kind of your eyes blinking blearily. You start to see through the fog, and you can see around you. You're in some kind of pretty tightly closed cell. There's rusty iron bars in front of you. It's light, so you know you're above ground at least, but you're definitely locked in some kind of cage. You see silhouettes in front of you, a small group of people who seem to be the ones that are shouting and jeering at you. So first thing you think of is where am I? What the hell's going on? And you look down and you check on yourself. Tell us who you are and what you look like and what you see.
Now, Boltzmann is encased by definition because all that is left of his original human body is a brain in a jar. And it's not very good at rotating, although he's got ways to compensate for that perception-wise. So he's trying to look down, but his tubular body just rotates 360 degrees, moving around, and he feels all the synapses connecting to the different parts of his mechanical body. He feels the rocket launcher in his torso, the many valves and buttons, the two hands that are on top of the lid of his jar, and the inline skates that are hidden in the base of his rolling contraption. And he tries to say, "Hello? Is anybody here?"
And as he says that, as his eyes are swiveling 360 degrees round, he sees in the cell next to him a reptilian torso, also just starting to come around, and he remembers that this is Olive, his guildmate. And so as Olive wakes up, she has a similar kind of experience to Boltzmann. So Olive, tell us about yourself.
Olive is laying on the ground looking like any other crocodile if you had dressed them in a white Jedi-style robe and baggy brown pants. So sort of like when you put clothes on a cat or a dog. It looks kind of funny. But then she sits up and you can see as she rubs her head and eyes that there's a spark of intelligence in her eyes. As she looks at Boltzmann, her eyes are filled with as much intelligence as any human.
And then, so Olive's in the room. There's one other cell in the room too, and it's fortunately a much larger cell. It's actually the armory of the place where you're being where you've been locked up. And in that space, still pretty cramped, even though it is a little larger room. is our third guild member in this scenario, Dr. Crud III. Tell us about yourself, Dr. Crud.
Dr. Crud is a Loxodon doctor, 12th level. He stands at 8 feet tall, 5 feet wide. Fluctuates his weight, but he's been taking care of himself a lot more. So he's more near the 250-ish now. He wears blue jeans, a white button-down shirt with a red tie, and a white lab coat-esque made out of leather with his name embroidered on the left side of his chest. He has a Beans pocket, which is right now empty, and he has a Jenny's pocket, and he checks to see if Jenny is there.
Wow, okay. Let's move on from that one quickly before things start to get dark.
Jenny's not there. Jenny was there earlier.
Where's Jenny gone?
Wait, so DM, just to clarify, it was quite a saga to get Jenny back last time.
Is Jenny there or not?
Oh, right. No. Jenny. If Jenny should be there, Jenny is definitely there.
Okay.
Okay, good.
I missed the Jenny piece in any of the prep work I should have done. So let's just let Jenny is there. Don't panic. Don't panic.
I was a little panicked.
Right. No, we do not want to. I thought you said that Jenny was not there, and that was the start of the panic from my side as well. So cool. No, Jenny is very much with you.
Follow-up question. Is Boltzmann's assistant steel defender, robotic chimp butler, Mr. Langley there? And his pet displacer beast, Miss Motoko?
Yes. His chimp butler is in the cell with Boltzmann too. We've all come as a whole in this equation. Don't worry. No one has been left aside.
Thank God they locked me in here with my butler.
So as you all come about, and clarity starts to regain, mental clarity starts to come back into your head. You notice a couple of other people in the room. So as these things are happening, the jeers and the small group of people that are shouting at you and slanging, you hear them say, "Come on, lads, this is it now. These guys are clearly losers. We don't know where they've come from, but we've had our fun here. Let's get back to work. We've got better things to be getting on with." And they walk out the door. And there's no introduction. You don't know who they are. They just fade out into the doorway until there's two people left in the room. There's a large orc, half orc, sat on a chair in front of a desk with his feet up on the table and a hat kind of positioned slightly over his eyes. You're not entirely sure if he's asleep or not, but you think he's vaguely aware of what's going on. And then over in the far corner, there is a tiny little gnome just sat on a stool, twiddling his thumbs. As you look at them, you notice they've both got badges on. One's clearly the sheriff, and the other one is his deputy. The orc being the sheriff, and the little gnome being the deputy. So that's the scenario you're in. That's where you've come into the world. You basically don't have a clue what's going on or how you got there. What do you do next?
Dr. Crud rolls over and goes back to sleep.
Boltzmann rolls up to the bars, grabs them, looks at the half-orc and the gnome, and says, "What is the meaning of this?"
To which the sheriff lazily doffs his hat slightly, and you just about see his eyes peeking out from underneath it. And he says to you, "Well, you guys were brought in here pretty early in the morning, last night or in the morning. You were found out back by the rock, just in an unconscious pile. Looks like you guys have been partying way harder than you guys should have been. And it was Mama Pancioni and the Pancioni family guys that have brought you in here. So we figured best just lock you up. We had no idea who you were. You looked like you potentially could be pretty dangerous people. So we figured we'd just keep you in the drunk tank until you came about. And now you seem to be awake. So maybe you should tell me what the hell you were doing out there."
Do we remember anything?
So the last thing you remember, and that is a good question. That's a very nice lead into the next phase of the story. The last thing you remember was being in the guild house back in Nicomoy. And this rather attractive young half-elf lady had come into the bar, and she was pretty interested in joining the guild. And as part of that kind of, introduction, trying to get to know her a little bit while we're waiting for the officials to come down and sort out any kind of acceptance or rejection test. You guys were at the bar. Last thing you remember, you were chatting away to this pretty young half-elf. You were having a couple of drinks, alcoholic or no. And literally, within about 10 or 15 minutes after that point, everything fades into blackness. And the next thing you remember is exactly where you are now. You're waking up in these cells.
I think we got drugged.
Quite possibly. That could be the case.
This most definitely sounds like Rohypnol.
Very specific, yes.
I don't know many spells, but yeah, that sounds like the one.
And your kind of sense of grogginess, it doesn't feel like a typical alcoholic hangover. It feels like more of a a barbiturate induced fug over your head. So anyway, so the sheriff turns around. He says, "Well, you guys, you didn't commit any crimes. We're not particularly keeping you here for any criminal or legal reasons. You seem to be pretty much awake now. You feeling all right? You feel like you can get up and get on with your lives now?"
I think we were the victims of a crime, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't know about that. I'm just a sleepy town sheriff. I'm not here to start hunting down crimes of wherever you guys came from, whatever you did. As far as I'm concerned, you could just be nothing more than a bunch of drunkards. So, any kind of accusations that you're flinging about right now, I can't be dealing with that stuff. I tell you what.
Can I please do a perception check? I want their name and badge number.
You can indeed do a perception check.
Typical law enforcement in this universe.
Former law enforcement. What's their name and badge number?
So, Sheriff says, well, typical. Never happy, are they? Never happy.
I'm just peeking. I'm not I didn't say anything.
So I'm Officer Zonderkop. I don't have a badge number, but I do have a number. It's number 1. I am the number 1 sheriff in this town. And my friend over there, that's Deputy Coolmouse. And, he's number 2. So you've got our names and you've got our numbers.
Okay.
But, I'm not going to make a big deal of this. I'm just going to let you go. But the one thing I will say is when you were dropped off here, I was asked that when you wake up, the head of the Pancioni family, Mama Pancioni, she asked me to send you over to her place. So as you're leaving, gather up your stuff. And if you head left as you go out the sheriff's office, you'll see the mansion down the way. I suggest you go and say hello to the Pancioni family. It's deemed pretty rude if you don't.
Typical. The vested authorities in this town are but a sham, covering up the real power. All right, we will go by the Pancioni family.
So the Pancioni family is the one that brought us here. Hence, they're probably the ones that drugged us. And you want us to go back to them again for more drugging and more jail time?
Hey, listen, I've got no idea about any drugging that you say did or didn't go on here. All we know is it's those guys that found you. So, and they were pretty interested to talk to you once you woke up. I think they've got their reasons, and I'm sure they'll tell you more about it when you go talk to them. But all I can say is, as I said, if you don't go and talk to the Pancioni family, they're likely to take that as an offense.
Olive happens to possess 2 bottles on her for health potions. She's gonna pour one of them, I guess, out on the ground. Or is anybody feeling not so good? I guess I'll feed it to Jenny, just in case. And then with the empty bottle, I'm gonna cut my hand, or I don't know, I'm gonna cut. Yeah, arm. There's no safe place to cut yourself, people. I've got a chef's knife, though, and I stab it between the 2 bones in my forearm of the left hand. And I then empty some of the blood into the potion bottle and cork it, and I give it to the sheriff. And then I use the second potion bottle to drink it and recover the damage.
Okay. Yeah, I see what you mean. It's off story here. I see what you mean about needing to be ready for anything as a DM, because I was not expecting that.
Olive, you do realize I am a medical professional, and I could have just taken a sample of your blood and put it in a tube. And
I'm not a medical professional. You can see why it's not a good idea, kids, if you're not a medical professional, to do it yourself.
Olive,
But
I ask that next time you have self-harming thoughts, you talk to me first.
I didn't harm myself. I'm fine. I got a potion.
A knife through your arm is self-harming.
Temporarily, but I took a potion.
Oh, talk to me. I am literally a centrifuge.
Okay, so I hand the blood-filled glass container to the sheriff, and I say, if you lose this, well, I mean, it's not, you're already in trouble, but, like, don't lose this. This is evidence that I was drugged. Test it, and I'll go find the culprit, because you kind of suck, but at least help me out a little bit here and keep this evidence and store it. Thank you. Chuck's potion heals arm.
So the sheriff gingerly reaches up and takes this vial in his fingertips and says, "Yeah, okay. Thanks for that." And opens a drawer in his desk and just places it gently inside it. He that's as far as he goes with that one. Right.
You should have it tested by an expert witness.
You can probably see that we don't exactly have the most modern of technological apparatus here for doing blood tests, but once every 2 or 3 months or so, someone normally swings by to pick up any evidence and take it to the local to the county police head office, and I'm sure someone will get around to testing it one day. We'll call you. Don't call us. We'll call you.
I lick the blood off of the knife, put it back in my backpack, and I'm going to go on my way to see these Panchonis. But I have unfinished business here.
On the way out, I say, Olive, I know you're not well versed in the theories of magic, but it's a bad idea to give strangers your blood.
Oh yeah, I'm magically illiterate.
On Dr. Crud's way out, he says to the sheriff, I'm sorry about her. I don't know what's gotten into her, but just be thankful she didn't burn the place down.
Also true. I might later. I'm definitely going to later.
And the sheriff, is a kind of a world-weary guy who's been knocking around for quite a while, he nods his appreciation to Dr. Crud, looks slightly wearily and worryingly at Olive, puts his hat back down over his eyes, just goes back to sleep again. So, we're outside.
Oh, and you're a shit sheriff.
We'll be replacing you later.
He's been there a long time. I don't think he's not about to get replaced. I don't think, no matter how piss poor his actual duties are. So,
Boltzmann.
I'm going to assassinate him.
Are we?
Boltzmann beckons the 10 feet old displacer beast that was in the cell with him. He says, I'm not surprised they got me, but they roofied you, girl. There's no limits to these people's vile sense of pseudo-authority. They can't do this to us, and we'll go over there and tell them. Right? We are the fire-breathing kittens.
Cool.
Yeah.
So we're leaving the sheriff's office, right?
Yeah.
Cool. So first thing, so now we're heading out into town. So the first thing you notice as you open the doors is that this place it's an absolute mess. I mean, it is a mud-strewn pit. It's bordering on swamp in how dirty and filthy its place has been. It doesn't look like the kind of place that should be like that. It should be this kind of dry, dusty, tumbleweed type town. But that is absolutely not the case. Water is dripping off roofs. There's rutted streets with puddles and pools of swilling water, they're knocking about everywhere. So clearly you think there's been some kind of downpour, some kind of torrential rain type situation. That explains the dampness of the cells that you were in as well.
Olive, you're home.
Yep.
So as you leave the sheriff's office, you take a look around and you take a look around the street. Someone want to roll a perception check for me?
Is this all of us?
Yeah. Let's have all of you do it. Yeah.
I got an 11.
Oof. I got a natural 20 for a total of 25.
18.
Cool. I think Boltzmann has frozen, so we're going to have to backtrack a bit anyway. I think we've lost him.
He went into automatic mode. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
Let's keep going. So
We'll catch him up.
Cool. So with an 18, Olive has some mighty fine monkish perception going on. So as she looks around the town, she notices across the way from the sheriff's office, looks to be what, classically would be considered a kind of a Western bar. It's got those 2 swing gates on the front. This is all very tropish. Don't worry about it. It's a bar. You see a light on in the bar, so you pretty much figure there's someone or something going on inside there. To the left, right to the left of the sheriff's office, there's an undertaker's or a funeral parlour. You know that very clearly because you can see the coffin-shaped boxes outside on the walkway. To the far right, as you look down the main street, you can see what looks like a big kind of theatre, kind of cabaret kind of building. And off down to the very far left, you can see a grand mansion. That is clearly the place that the sheriff referred you to go to, the Pancioni family hall. So, where do you guys decide to head?
Well, Dr. Crud's going to check those coffins and make sure shapeshifters did not put anybody in there.
No, all these coffins for the moment are empty.
Okay.
Shall we huddle up quickly?
Oh, yeah, welcome back.
Oh, you're off of automatic mode. Great.
I was just in my own mind. I was there the entire time. I could hear everything.
Okay.
Olive, I hope you don't mind. I took the empathic experience we had last time, researched this a little bit, and expanded on this a little bit. We can now enter each other's consciousness with a group of up to 6. I figured just 2 is just a little bit lonely, wouldn't you say?
Especially since you knew we weren't actually getting married. I think you misinterpreted.
Boltzmann is just a brain, doesn't have a facial expression, so there's nothing to interpret there.
Okay.
But
the crocodile looks nervously at the brain in the jar, who seems to have misinterpreted the wedding ring exchange.
No, Olive, I know that we were not getting married. It's just, I am an old man, and I've never gotten married, and it's just rubbing salt in a wound, all right? Because it's probably not going to happen considering I'm a brain in a jar now.
Oh, that wouldn't stop you from getting married, just to me. Because I am with Richard.
So
I know. You're also half my age, so let's not talk about this anymore.
sounds like Olive, you're just hitting off the boys with the sticks now, trying to keep them away from you.
It's because I've had my teeth removed. I'm now so much more attractive. Thank you, Dr. Crud III.
Yeah, it was only 4. We just got you back down to 80. You're still at 80, right? I don't need to take out any more.
Still at 80.
All right, let me know when that changes, and I'll help you.
I wasn't going to say anything, but it looks at you.
Yes, I've had some work.
In any case, I can join our minds.
Okay.
I will ritual cast Rary's telepathic bond. So we are all telepathically linked with one another as we go about this town, and we can talk about this without alerting any others of our presence. Should I include Jenny in it?
Well, here's the thing. Our telepathic link is really, really special, and if you betray that trust that she has in me, she will bite your face off.
I do not believe that will be a problem. My face was gone a long time ago. So is that a yes or a no, Dr. Crud?
Depends on if you want to get bit and poisoned by my daughter or not. That's completely up to you. I mean, I don't know your kink.
I'm immune to poison. But I will respect Jenny's boundaries if that's what you are trying to imply here. I will form a telepathic bond between Olive, Boltzmann, Dr. Crud, the Displacer Beast, and Mr. Langley, the robotic butler.
Okay.
We can now all hear each other's thoughts.
All right. I say hi to the Displacer Beast.
Cool.
She is basically a large cat, so she will ignore you because you said hi.
Sounds right.
Well, if she's not bigger than 5 feet, she can have Bean's pocket. It's occupied right now.
Unfortunately, she is 10 feet.
Yeah, she won't fit.
Perhaps I could reduce her, but let's talk about the situation, all right? Where are we going from here? This Pancioni family?
I don't normally listen to people I hate, so I'd rather use the mechanics on page 131 of the Dungeon Master's Guide, now you guys know what I was up to this whole time, to sow some rumors. It says, spreading rumors is an efficient if underhanded way to accomplish bringing down a villain or elevating a friend. So I want to get the sheriff fired. And it says there's mechanics for how I do that. And I'd like Dr. Crud III's help because there's a charisma check at the end. So I'm like, hey, Dr. Crud III, don't you feel like that sheriff could have done a better job with handling your case?
Oh, yeah, he's just like all other law enforcement in this world. He's a piece of shit. I don't give a crap. Let's do it.
Yeah! All right. I love Dr. Crud III. So it says we can spend 1 gold point per day to cover the cost of drinks, social appearances, and the like. At the end of the time, which depends on the size of the settlement, village, town, or city, the character must make a DC 15 charisma, deception, or persuasion check. If the check succeeds, the community's prevailing attitude towards the subject shifts 1 step towards friendly or hostile as the character wishes. And if we fail, the rumor gains no traction. Yeah, so I just want to get him voted out. That's all. Or replaced.
I have made a pretty major omission. I don't have any dice. Give me a second. I'm going to go get my dice tray.
As we wait for our DM to get dice, what nasty things are we going to say about the sheriff to get them unelected?
He has a small wiener.
I love it. And Boltzmann?
We can say that the gnome in town doesn't like anybody else in town.
He hates kitty cats.
Yeah.
Good. I don't know enough about the population of this town to understand why they would keep this person in office in the first place. So it's hard to make up rumors.
That's why we're in the bar right now. Meeting them
you've
and
headed into
finding
the
out.
bar, have you?
Yes.
We've gone to the bar. All
Okay.
right.
You can also say he's actually a secret serial killer.
Yeah. So far we've said he's a serial killer and all these other things about him to anybody who will listen, and we're buying rounds of bar beverages for everybody.
All right. So let me backtrack to my bar entrance scenario location description thing. So, right, you head into the bar. So as you approach the bar, you can kind of hear this gentle rumbling / jingling noise coming from inside. The bar itself, pretty standard, it's kind of ramshackle, it's kind of wooden. It's, on initial view, it seems more or less deserted. It's not like there's screaming hordes of fighting cowboys or whatever in there. You do just notice, as you look over towards the bar, there's a long bar going across one wall. You can just see this sort of a little half a head just poking up over the top of the bar. It's slumped back. There's drool running down the side of the barman's mouth, and you figure that this is not a busy working environment for this guy. We have basically the barman is absolutely fast asleep. And as you get closer, as you go into the bar, you realise it's actually his snoring that is so phenomenally loud that it's actually making the bottles and the glasses on the shelves behind him rattle.
And there's no customers.
There is one customer in there. It's a little old man. He's sat in the corner and he's nursing what looks to be a bottle of whiskey all to himself.
All right, everybody be quiet. Let's raid the place and leave.
But how will that get the sheriff fired?
We're here to sow rumors, right?
Dr. Crud looks around. We have to have people to do that.
There's one person here we could sow a rumor to.
Okay. Steal all the alcohol, blame it on the sheriff, take alcohol, give to other people, say bad things about sheriff?
Yes.
I like this plan.
How invested are we in this plan? Because I have magical tools that could help.
Very invested.
Boltzmann rides up to the old man who's nursing his drink and says hello.
And while this is happening, Dr. Crud and Olive are at the bar just putting drinks in their bags.
Yeah, he's sleeping.
Oh, Dr. Crud takes out his hole and just starts putting the drinks into the hole.
The portable hole. I help. Oh, I definitely pass like 5 bottles of whiskey to Boltzmann to help him with what he's doing. That's my help action. You can give them to the old man.
I'm just trying to consider how the old man is going to react to seeing a brain in a tube approach him in his deliriously ancient drunken state.
With 5 bottles of whiskey.
With 5 bottles of whiskey. So the drunken old man, he sat there. This is the character's name is Old Captain Crusty, just so you know. I'll be honest, I had not given this character that much depth perception, but let's run with it.
He needs glasses.
So
Old Captain Crusty.
Old Captain Crusty. Old Captain Crusty looks up as Boltzmann wheels across the room. Is that what you do? You wheel? You wheel, don't you?
I roll.
You roll. As Boltzmann rolls across the room with bottles of whiskey in his... And again, what do you have? You don't have hands, claws.
I've got hands. Yeah.
Okay, you got hands.
I've got robotic extendable arms.
No, let's face it. It's not. You're not going to be carrying anything, are you? Your monkey butler has acquired a tray. He is walking beside you with 5 bottles of whiskey on the tray, ready to present them to old Captain Crusty.
What is it?
Old Captain Crusty. In a reaction to this, old Captain Crusty, he's an old guy. He's been some places and he's seen some things. Never before has he seen a brain in a tube with a walking monkey butler and a 10-foot cat thing approaching him. I'm sad to say this is all a little bit too much for old Captain Crusty. And he looks up, his eyes start wide. He clutches his chest. And that's tragically the end of old Captain Crusty. Captain Crusty has had a heart attack on the spot and died. Now, we got to be honest with ourselves. It was probably about his time to go. He's been lingering here. Captain Crusty, by the way, was 92 years old.
Doctor,
and really, it was only the preservatives of the whiskey that were keeping him going for this long. So,
Dr. Crud rushes over to him after hearing the telltale signs of a heart attack. And does his medical thing to bring him back.
Okay, so do we need to do some kind of roll to see if that's successful, don't we?
Yes. Let me see. I'm going to look at my skills really quick. I'm going to use kooky surgery to crack open his chest, massage his heart manually, and then rebooting him, and then stitch him up. So
I love how it sounds horrible, but this is literally what people do.
So,
do you need to make a check for that?
Yes. I'm going to use my medical check.
Boltzmann will help you because he's proficient in medicine. He performed surgery on us himself.
You do realize you're talking to Dr. Crud, who has a...
Well, the help action gives you advantage, Dr. Crud.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I already have advantage on medicine checks.
I am, of course, but a layman. I've not studied medicine formally. I've just did a surgery here or there.
So without the help action, it is going to be 25, and my DC for this was 15.
Okay, so that's a successful roll.
So with advantage, that's going to be a natural 20, so a 30.
Okay, so not only do you manage to resurrect old Captain Crusty, actually you've brought him back even healthier and fitter and stronger than he was when he passed away.
Yeah, he gets
he springs back to his feet.
He gets 15 hit points.
There you go. Old Captain Crusty springs back up to his feet. Energized by the vigor of youthful exuberance that you've instilled him with, he grabs a bottle of the whiskey off the monkey carried tray in each hand, and runs screaming out the door going, whoop, whoop-oo, whoop-oo, whoop-oo. And that is, frankly, the last you ever see of old Captain Crusty.
Another last save. Let's continue cleaning out the joint.
I suppose we can count that as a success.
Yeah. Why not?
It is. I saved his life.
Good. And I think, to be fair, that's probably worthy of an inspiration point, isn't it?
I'll take it.
Completely selfless act of saving an old sea captain's life and bringing him back to, as I said, youthful vigour. So yeah, inspiration point for Dr. Crud, the third. Well done. Right. However, that whole kind of action, that whole thing that just took place there, unfortunately, it wasn't quite as quiet as you were trying to keep. So in the meantime, the barman has kind of come back to his senses. As that was all going on, the barman's come back to his senses. He's now sat behind the bar. He's not sat behind the bar. Let's say it was what it is. He's cowering behind the bar. He's kind of got that two hands over the edge. You can just see his eyes and his forehead peering over the bar because, let's face it, this is not something he was expecting to wake up to. He was not expecting to wake up and see a brain in a tube, an 8-foot-tall lizard, or a 6-foot-tall lizard, and an 8-foot-tall elephant doctor in his bar, both killing and saving his one and only patron.
In front of his eyes, as they peek over the counter, Olive drops a bag full of gold, saying, "It's your lucky day, we're buying it all. We're hosting a party for everybody in town, and you're our supplier." And that bag of gold clinks heavily because she had 500 gold left to her name. Because I kept 500. I'm very much in debt, you guys. I burned down a mansion. Gotta pay it off. But I kept 500 in cash. But anyway, so I'm going to scratch that off and completely pay for a amazing elect. And you are going to be our new sheriff, bartender. It's going to be an elect. What's your name?
Well, so at that exact point, the barman stands up from behind the bar. He blinks in the impossibility of recognition comes across his face, and he says, "Olive, is that Olive?"
Yes.
And it is the one and only Scroat McFlanagan.
No.
From the Scarsbrook Redemption. So to fill in the backstory, basically on his escape from the prison after Olive so wonderfully saved him from the prison warden's champion in her state of invisibility, Scroats wandered the region for a little while and ended up stumbling across this ramshackle town. He's found what was basically an empty bar. The only thing in the bar at the time was old Captain Crusty, sat in the corner, and he decided to take it on himself to become the barman, because why the hell not? It's a job. There's enough passers through to makes a little bit of money, and he's surrounded by alcohol. Seemed like a good job to Scroat.
We have an even better job for you, though. How would you like to be the sheriff of this town, Scroat?
And Scroat says, "Well, I don't know about that, Olive. I mean, you guys helped me out enough as it was last time. I'm not sure I'm ready to be put in that kind of position of authority. I think I'm happy just being the barman here. It's safe, it's secure. I can keep myself under wraps. The sheriff, no, that sounds a bit too involved for my liking. I will, however, take that 500 gold if it's going spare."
Yeah. All right. And then Dr. Crud III, we were going to use all this alcohol too.
Well, we were going to say the sheriff robbed the place, and then we're going to use the alcohol to tell everybody that he robbed the place and to loosen him up, and then tell him he's a murderer and all this other stuff. He hates cats, and so I mean, paying the guy kind of defeats the purpose of him robbing the place. But
we can still bribe the whole town with big party, right?
Hey, Scroat.
An election party.
Scroat, that's your name, right?
That's me.
All right, you keep the money, but can you say that you got knocked out by the sheriff, and when you woke up, that all your stuff was gone?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I can say that, but I mean, who am I going to tell? There was only old Captain Crusty. He's gone. He didn't look like he was coming back. And the only other people around here nowadays are the Swivel Gang and the Pancioni family. And none of those guys have ever listened to a single thing I've had to say.
Well, you are the quote-unquote victim of a crime, so obviously you need to report it. But since it's the sheriff, quote-unquote sheriff, who did the quote-unquote crime, you need to go to the quote-unquote deputy to report the quote-unquote crime. Why do I got to do all the thinking for you?
Well, because I didn't ask to be put in this position, and I don't know what to do. This is way more stress. I was just looking forward to having a nice quiet sleep in my bar and having a few whiskies later on tonight with old Captain Crusty. I didn't ask for any of this. But all right, look, if you give me 500 gold, that's a fair few quid for me, and that'll keep me in booze for many a year, booze and potato stew. So all right, tell you what, I'll go and try and have a chat with the deputy. But I mean, it's going to be difficult because they're pretty inseparable, them two. I mean, that deputy, he's not exactly Mr. Proactive. That deputy, he normally just sits there waiting to be told what to do from the sheriff. I've never even seen him do anything, I don't think. But all right, I'll go and have a chat, and I'll see what comes of it.
Good. That's all we ask.
No problem.
Scroat, who do they listen to in this town?
Obviously, you know, when it comes to the Swivel Gang, it's old Jimmy Swivelhands who's the boss of that gang. He gets to say what happens at that side of town, and then over at the old Pancioni family, it's Mama Pancioni who's in charge. But, you know, if you asked each of them who's going to listen to each other, well, I mean, they've been at loggerheads for months now. You know, we're basically in a gang war situation right now. And you know, I don't know who's best to go and talk to about it, really.
What's the war about? There's nothing here.
You mean you say there's nothing else here, but didn't you see the big rock as you came on in?
We were drugged.
Well... Okay, makes sense, I suppose. Well, no, I mean I don't know the ins and outs of it all, but I try and keep out of it as much as I can. But what I do know is basically there's the big rock over there. If you pop outside the bar and turn around, it's kind of back over your shoulder when you go out the front. You'll see it. You can't miss it. It's a bloody big rock. Legend has it that underneath that rock, well, there's definitely a mine down there. Back in the day, some of the people that used to live in this town used to mine in that rock, and they found a few bits of gold and a few gemstones and stuff that kept this town funded. But it's been abandoned for years and years. And then a few months ago, all of a sudden, the Swivel Gang showed up, and they start talking about coming in here, asking me questions about what's going on down that mine, and can we get down there, and what do you know about it? I just shrugged at them. I said, I don't know. I don't know nothing. I'm not going to go near that mine. It's an abandoned mine shaft. What am I doing going down an abandoned mine shaft? Nothing to do with me whatsoever. And then literally a few days later, the old Pancioni family came along, and they started asking me the same questions, exactly the same bloody questions. What's going on down that mine? I want to go down that mine. Do you know anything about going down that mine? I said, no, I don't know nothing what's going on down that mine. It's got nothing to do with me whatsoever. You want to go down that mine, you go and have a look down that mine, is what I said, and that was where I left it. So occasionally one of the groups comes in here and, you know, tops up on a whiskey or has a few drinks or have a little party on the bandstand in the corner there, you know, get the old tinkle-tankle piano out. But apart from that, I just try and keep myself to myself. So you want to find out more, you're best off going and speaking to either one of them and try and work out what's going on.
I think I'm starting to put two and two together. The Pancioni family must have kidnapped us to try and get the Fire-Breathing Kittens Guild to go down into the abandoned mine shaft to retrieve whatever riches are there.
Sounds to me like all we gotta do, blow up the mine shaft, no more war.
Dr. Crud, are we trying to end the gang war? We're trying to enrich ourselves. We're a mercenary guild.
Or we could just watch them fight over it and then just, you know, grab everything that's left.
I don't know about you, but I need money for chemical experiments.
I am greatly in debt.
So you guys are good for letting them fight it out and then picking up all the stuff later after they're all dead.
It's an option.
I would rather snatch it from under their noses.
So, okay, sounds like you want to go down to the mine shaft. Olive?
I want to get the sheriff unelected.
We'll be doing that as we go.
Okay.
We've already started that.
undermining the sheriff's credibility has kicked off. I'd say that's as the DM. I'd say that's probably going to be a gently lingering and progressive, thing that happens in the background of this scenario. We might find out what happens to the sheriff by the end of it, but let's say that is underway as we speak.
This is actually not the first time that we've done this either. There was a small western town that had a shit sheriff, and we did the same thing to him.
Of course, they all have shit sheriffs.
And that's standard.
I think we left that one in power. Yeah.
With the caveat that we were taking him out of power. So it was still happening. I mean, he hid in a jail cell while his town was being overrun by bad guys.
Yeah. I think we just walked away. I think we were all just like, bye. But this time, I'm going to do something about it. I've grown, I've matured, and now I understand that if a victim stays silent, it enables further victimization. So I've matured. And I understand that it's my responsibility to not stay silent. I'm going to do something about it. Even if that's just killing him in his sleep. It'll solve the problem, too.
Olive, we were drugged. We ended up on the edge of town, and they took us in and put us in a cell. I would not say that's worth murdering somebody over, but I like that our ideologies have swapped.
Well, so let's do what you guys want to do, and I'd like to keep an ear out for where the sheriff lives.
Oh, you're going to burn it down. Gotcha.
No, that'll get you in debt. No property destruction for me, just murder.
Wink.
Wink.
All right, let's go explore this mine shaft.
The question is, should we do some recon, gather information with either the Banchoni family or the Swivel Gang before we head down this mine shaft?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, the Paccioni family, they drugged us. You really want to go talk to them, get drugged again?
Yes, let's not eat anything this time. I know I eat something every time. I finally learned my lesson.
Besides, I know a thing or two about swiveling. And Boltzmann swivels on his axis. Let's go talk to old Jimmy Swivelhand, shall we?
Oh yes, you've got the body of a dancer.
Okay, so it sounds to me like we've got one vote for the Panchoni family from Olive and one vote to go see the Swivel Gang.
Oh, I'm flexible.
Boltzmann.
I vote.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever you guys want to do, let's go do. I don't want to go in the hole first.
Dr. Crud the Third, it's up to you.
Well, I already put my vote down. I think go down the hole, steal whatever they want, so they don't even get it. That's your money that you want so desperately.
Right then.
And Boltzmann wants to go talk to the Swivels, so I vote Swivels, and that's 2 out of 3.
There
Swivels.
you go. Swivel Gang it is. So you head outside the bar. As you're coming out, you do look behind you over your shoulder just to see what the hell that kind of rock is. And yeah, actually, you kind of get what Scrope was talking about here. It's a big damn rock. It's Uluru level of rock going on in the background. But you recognise where it is. You realise you might be popping up that direction at some point in time. But for now, you're heading right down the street towards the Swivel Gang Theatre. The Swivelhand Gang, they have moved themselves into the old Cabaret Theatre building down the way. So you come up to the building from the outside. It's got classic theatre. There's steps leading up into it. As you come in, there's kind of the entrance hall, kind of foyer kind of area. First thing you notice is that it's pretty much empty apart from dotted around the room. There's these kind of piles of furniture, tables, chairs, bookshelves, bits and pieces of just general rubble that have been piled up and into kind of barricade type arrangements. And you notice that there's this little tiny halfling just clambering over them. He's got a fist of nails in one hand, he's got a hammer in the other, and he's just clambering all over these things and banging nails into stuff left, right, and centre. He looks up at you and he grins at you. And when he grins at you, you notice that their teeth look kind of strange, and they're these weird, dark, pointy. On closer inspection, you realise that he's basically got a mouthful of pointed mahogany teeth. What's your reaction?
What time's the next show?
Show, he says. Show? There's no shows in here, mate. I don't know what you're talking about. This is a Swiveland gang, and if you knew any better, you wouldn't just come barging in here making weird proclamations like that, would you?
Well, I mean, how was I supposed to know? It said you're in a cabaret, so you have to have shows, because shows plus cabaret they go hand in hand together. So, show us a show. Give us a show. I got a gold for it.
I mean, I can see the logic behind your statement here, but I assure you, there ain't no shows going on down here. And if Jimmy heard you kind of using that kind of language in front of us, in front of the Swivel Gang, then yeah, you might be in for a show, but it ain't going to be the kind of show you want to be seeing. So yeah, I suggest you just think twice about the way you're talking to me. And I'm Kelvin the Carpenter, mate. Have you not heard of me?
Dance for me, Kelvin.
I don't dance for anyone. Well, what I will do is I'll nibble your kneecaps off, mate, if you don't park it.
Dr. Crud sits down. All right, I parked it. Dance.
On the back of that commotion, another 3 or 4 people start sort of poking their heads out of the main. So obviously in the foyer there's stairs going up into the actual main theatre hall, and the rest of the Swivel Gang start coming out from the top of the stairs, shouting down, "Oi, Kelvin, what's going on down there? What's all this ruckus? It's not them Panchonis again, is it?" And Kelvin screams out, "No, I don't know who it is, mate. It's some damn great elephant thing that's just come in here, mouthing off and giving it all the beans. I don't know what's going on."
"I'm not a thing. I'm a person, you dummy."
Well, person, elephant, thing, person. You know what I mean. Look at you. You're a big elephant, aren't you? I don't know what to call you.
Dr. Crud, that's what you can call me. You need to show me some respect.
All right then, Dr. Crud, seeing as you seem to be, you haven't kept on the aggressive foot, fair enough. Dr. Crud, nice to meet you. My name's Kelvin. Up there on the stairs, that's my boss up there. That's Jimmy Swivelhands. Then we've got, just next to him, next to him is Seamus the Bastard, that half orc right next to him, and then that's his right hand man just there. That's Silly Joe Bangles, the tiefling. What is it you want then? What are you even doing here?
Well, we came for a show, but if the show's off the table, what can you do for us?
And you hear one of the voices from upstairs, which is Silly Joe Bangles, going, "Hey, look, it's the losers from the sheriff's place. Them their guys sat in that cell. They think they can come in here and start mouthing off at us and our gang. Jimmy, what are we going to do about this?" And Jimmy says, "Okay, calm down, Joe, calm down. Let's hear them out. We don't know who they are. We don't know why they're there. Let's just listen to them. What you got to say for yourself, boys, and lizard girl."
Well, first, we're not losers. Second, that's not a lizard girl, that's Olive. And she has 80 teeth, so you best watch yourself because she knows how to use them.
I smile.
Oh. And Joe Bangles reels in obvious discomfort at an 80-toothed 6-foot lizard woman that could clearly tear his throat out in the drop of a second's hat. "Hey, Olive, it's okay, your name's Olive. That's great. Tell me, what you doing here? What you want?"
Well, again, we came here for a show. One gold offered for Calvin to dance for me. He's refusing. So we did hear you mention the Suppository Peak family or whatever the heck their name is. We think they drugged us, and if you got on the outs with them, then they're on the outs with us. That makes us friends. So what the hell you want to do with that? You want to be friends? You want to team up? You want to kick their butts? And what's up with the mines?
Well, hey, okay, so that's a lot of questions. So yeah, I mean the Panchoni family, they're just a bunch of bastards, right? They turn up here after we're trying to get in the mine and trying to find the treasure, and they've just been disrupting our work, causing us problems. No, we hate the damn Panchoni family as much as anybody. What was the other question? Oh, the mine. With the mine, I mean, we sent 3 of our guys down the mine a few days ago, and we ain't heard a single thing back from them since. I mean, we had this storm kicked off about a day after they left. They went down in that mine. We've had 2-3 straight days of absolute torrential downpour around here. You can probably see in the street, it's full of mud. And God knows what's happened to them boys down that mine. So we was just about to send someone down there and try and look after them. Now the rain stopped, but I'm wondering now maybe if you guys can go and do it, because we're short-staffed here. We ain't got enough people to defend ourselves. The Pancioni family push on us right now, then we can just about look after ourselves. But if we send a few more boys away, then we're going to be in a problem. So, hey, how about you guys want to go down that there mine shaft and try and find our friends?
Why were they down there in the first place? That was the original question, which you did. You dodged masterfully, I must say. But you know what? I'm going to come back and I'm still going to ask, what's up with the mine? Well,
I mean, this is I don't know how much I want to tell you about this stuff because it's all a bit sensitive. But
well, you hate the suppositories. We hate the suppositories. That makes us friends. So tell us.
How do I know you hate the Panchonis?
I told you they drugged us. We woke up in a jail cell. You would hate them too.
Nah, but maybe you just saying that. Maybe you've been sent over here by the Pancioni family, trying to wheedle your way into our good books so that we start to trust you. And we, how do we know we can trust you?
Because I'm going to roll a persuasion and you're going to roll an insight.
Fair. What am I doing? Oh, tell me then. What have you? Hang on, I've got a character sheet. You're rolling it against Jimmy Swivelhands here.
Yeah.
So insight. This is the point where you guys have got to help me out here. I know I'm a DM, but my D&D knowledge is still in progress. So I have rolled
because it's the truth. I would say that a high insight would be good. Like if they roll a high insight, then they can understand that they're being told the truth. And because it's the truth, you're going to use persuasion. And again, I think a high roll, right? Because it's not like it's not a contested roll. It's an attempt at establishing a valid communication channel.
Cool.
So what you're trying here is to communicate with one another.
So I've rolled a 22 on the insight check for this.
Holy cow!
So he gets it. He's a good judge of character. This Jimmy Swivelhands, being a mob boss, you've got to have a pretty solid read on people. So he's open-minded, willing to listen. What did you roll, Dr. Crud?
23 for persuasion.
Well, there you go.
So we have a situation where someone effectively communicated and someone was listening.
There you go. Hey, this is. Well, we can learn a thing or two about positive communication exchanges from this podcast. So. Jimmy Swivelhands.
So, Jimmy, does that mean we're friends?
Dr. Crud, I got no reason to doubt with what you're saying. You seem to me like a genuine stand-up kind of guy. I would like to be your friend.
All right, so tell me what's going on. What's down there?
Well, so what's going on? So let me give you the full story here because I think we've earned it, you've earned it, and we want to get off on the right start. So basically, we came here 3-4 months ago now. We've been we were searching for a little bit of treasure. We heard rumor in the way that down in that mine there's some kind of treasure. We don't know exactly what it is. We know it was abandoned. We know that people were digging down there a few years ago, and they came up with a few bits of goods. But there's always been a rumor there's something bigger and more mysterious going on. So we thought we'd come out here and see if we could find ourselves a little bit of treasure. And the reason why we're doing this, and I know we're supposed to be a mob, and I know I'm supposed to be all high and mighty and evil, and it's all supposed to be about crime, but basically, back where we come from, we've been at war for years and years, and we've basically got a situation where we have little kids running through the streets. They're little orphans from all the families that have been knocked off at the war, and really, all I wanted to do was find a bit of money, go back to our home and build ourselves an orphanage so we could look after these little kids, keep them safe, keep them fed, keep them warm.
Boltzmann is going to cast Detect Thoughts, which allows him to read the surface thoughts of anybody around him at this time. I can read you the spell if that helps.
I have no idea what you're talking about, so yes, please read the spell. I think I've come across detect thoughts in the past, but yeah, let's read it out. Let's see what you're thinking.
You can read the thoughts of certain creatures when you cast a spell, and as your action on each turn until the spell ends, you can focus your mind on any one creature that you can see within 30 feet of you. If the creature you choose has an intelligence of 3 or lower, or doesn't speak any language, then the creature is unaffected. You initially learn the surface thoughts of the creature, what is most on its mind in that moment. As an action, you can either shift your attention to another creature's thoughts or attempt to probe deeper into the same creature's mind. I'm not doing that right now. I'm just trying to read the surface thoughts of Jimmy Swivel Hands.
Okay, so the surface thoughts of Jimmy, his internal monologue to himself is, God damn, I hope these guys come on board. We could really use the help here, and I really hope we get to find this treasure and we can actually do something good for once in our goddamn lives.
Boltzmann will pass this information on to Olive and Dr. Crud telepathically.
Olive thinks back, I found my new sheriff.
It appears we have.
All right, Jimmy, I hear you. That's a noble pursuit. We can help each other. We have an orphanage already built, already established. We will take your kids. We will raise them up right. And then we will release them into the wild after they become adults.
Okay, so, that sounds...
What orphanage do we have?
We have multiple orphanages.
Yeah. No, it's...
There's orphanages, trust us.
Yeah, it's the Fire-Breathing Kittens Orphanage.
There's never enough orphanages.
What? Oh, is this from Sea Scouts and Theater Bouts, that orphanage?
Wasn't there... what's the acronym?
Heinz Helping Orphans.
There's Heinz Helping Orphans.
That was it.
There's the Cookie Castle Orphanage in Nicomoy.
There's Cookie Castle and there's Heinz. Yes, okay.
No, Heinz, the HH... HHO acronym that we kind of, there's multiple, it's the orphanage.
Just, sorry, we got so many orphanages, we got to keep track of them.
Still, yeah, we have so many orphanages, they're covered, it's fine.
Yeah.
But if it's any consolation, the world never seems to run out of orphans, so feel free to start up a new one.
So I got to say, as a DM, I'd completely forgotten about it. Until you mentioned it there, I'd completely forgotten about all the pre-orphanage stuff. So I hadn't even factored that into my equation. So Jimmy Silverhands, he looks thoughtful for a minute. He's clearly, you can tell he's an upstanding guy, at least at this level. He may have done a few dodgy things in the past. And he's just thinking. He eventually turned around and said, "You know what, guys, that's a great offer. I love the offer, but." No, I think these kids they've been through so much trauma, through so much stress in their lives. We don't want to take them away from their home. The town is their home. There's people around them that they know. It might not be their family anymore, but it's definitely people they know. I really want to be building the orphanage in this town, in our home, and that's what I want the money for. So, we do appreciate the offer. I get what you're trying to do, but no. I really want to try and get that treasure so we can build this orphanage.
Well, of course, that doesn't say anything here nor there. We're also coming up with more plans. Here's another one, and hear me out with this. We establish you as sheriff. And when you become sheriff, you arrest the suppository family for all the charges you can think of. And then now you have the suppository house. There is your orphanage.
So, hey, I'm not a big fan of the police and the law. I never have been, don't think I ever will be. I wouldn't mind being in position of sheriff, but the trouble is with the Panchoni family, you keep calling them the suppository family, but we should at least call them what they are so I know what the hell you're talking about. The Panchoni family, the problem we got there is it's a stalemate, they gang and our gang, we're pretty much level to level, and we try to push them a few more, especially with our 3 guys down the mine shaft. We're on the back foot with these guys, so even if I was sheriff, ain't no sheriff around here got no more authority than the people I got with me right now. So, what we're going to do? I don't think we can go in there, kick the door down and win that fight.
Well, if we would find the treasure, then they would leave, right?
Hey, if the treasure's gone, the treasure's gone. What? You're absolutely right. What they going to do? They ain't going to do nothing. They just got to leave once the treasure's gone.
All right, I'll tell you what. We'll go down there. You think on this sheriff thing. And then while we're down there, maybe write a few campaign slogans, and we'll come back with hopefully your people breathing, and hopefully a treasure, but we'll see what happens.
And we'll throw you a party at the bar with lots of alcohol to get you elected.
Hey, now, I like the sound of that, for sure.
Free beer for everybody. Vote for Jimmy Swivelhands.
Woo! Yeah, Jimmy Swivelhands. Sheriff Jimmy Swivelhands. That's got a ring to it, you know? Okay. So, yeah, good. So, two things we need to check on. We need to check on our guys down in that mine, and we need to try and find ourselves some treasure.
All right. Bye.
Well, one more thing, Olive. I just need a little bit of motivation, so Calvin needs to dance for me.
You're twisted.
Calvin looks up at Jimmy. Oh, don't make me... Come on, boss, don't make me do it. I'm Kelvin the Carpenter. I'm a stone cold killer. You can't make me dance in front of these guys. And Jimmy says, hey, you know what, Kelvin? I've always thought you looked pretty loud on your feet. I really want to see you dance, boy. See, do your dance, do your thing. You're going to do it for me because I'm your boss. Kelvin looks massively disjointed.
Oh my gosh.
And
Dr. We're going to get Jimmy elected and he's going to get killed by Kelvin.
Kelvin goes, okay, but you know what, boss? You know what, boss? You've always been good to me, so... And I got a little dance number in my pocket that I've been saving for an occasion just like this. So, all right, I'll give you my little dance. And he basically wheels out a Dick Van Dyke-esque Cockney chimney sweep routine for the next 30 to 45 seconds. There's lots of, arm bouncing and heel clicking and from nowhere, the other boys, the Swivel Gang, come down and do it. And actually, it turns out to be a pretty slick, pretty clean little cabaret routine they put together.
I knew it. You are better at dancing than you are at carpentry, and I knew it from the moment I saw you. From now on, you'll be known as Kelvin the Dancer.
Yeah, you see, now this is what... Look, you see what I mean, Jimmy? This is what I was afraid of, right? I've got a reputation at stake here, and you've just ruined it, boss. You ruined it, but...
Your carpentry is shoddy.
I know, mate. It's not so much about my carpentry was more about my teeth than the actual carpentry skills I came with. It was one of them names, but yeah, all right, I get you. Anyway, Kelvin's routine finishes off, hopefully to a thunderous applause from the members of the Fire Breathing Kittens Guild. For his routine, he actually really appreciates it. He takes a little bow and then sidles off into the corner behind one of the barricades.
Well, hold
we'll
on.
cast a minor illusion to amplify the applause a little bit.
Here's your gold, Calvin. That was a very good job. Thank you. It was worth it, wasn't it?
All right, and Calvin's not proud. He pokes his head out, grabs the gold, and sneaks back off again.
Thank you, dancing monkey. Let's go.
Right, so...
No, Dr. Crud, don't disrespect the institution of dance, all right? It's an art form like any other.
Look, his initial way of dealing with us, he was an a-hole. So, yeah, I'm going to treat him like that.
I concur. Just don't disrespect the dance.
No, I wasn't disrespecting the dance. I was disrespecting him.
We are on the same page.
I don't understand what's going on anymore, who the heroes are.
Me neither. This has taken so many more twists and turns than I was expecting. But hey, I think we might be at the point where we're actually going to possibly flip back to the root of the story that I thought might occur. I'm not certain, but we'll see. So,
before we leave, I do want to ask Silly Joe Bangles, the tiefling. Hey, where does Sheriff Zonderkop live?
Zonderkop? Gee, I mean, he lives at the sheriff's place. I don't think I've ever seen him go anywhere else or do anything else apart from sit in that room and sleep.
He lives in the jail?
There's an apartment above the jail. I've always just assumed he lives there.
Okay, thanks.
By the way, Jimmy, before we take our leave, if you see old Captain Crusty running around, I believe he would make a good deputy.
What the fuck?
Goodbye.
Okay, listeners, you can't see our DM. He's dying. He's laughing. He's turned lobster red, and his hands are like pushing his eyes deep into his head.
Yes, we have broke him.
I will. So, hey, yep, Mister Brain Tube guy. You know what? I think Silly Joe's going to be a little bit upset if I don't make him my deputy because he is my right hand man. But I will keep it in mind. And if old Captain Crusty ever comes back in here, we'll make sure we look after him. We make him part of the squad.
That's all I ask for.
Cool.
All right, let's head down the mine.
Oh, thank God. Right.
So as we're walking to the mine, Dr. Crud looks at the other two. Well, we're definitely keeping that money, right?
We're stealing from an orphanage?
There is no orphanage.
If we steal the money, there won't be.
Well, there still will be, because he's going to be sheriff. He's going to arrest all the Pamperosas, and then all their stuff's his stuff, and there's an orphanage. It's good.
Hey, let's not count our baby crocodiles before they hatch. Let's get down there and see what the treasure is. And if there's gold, we'll deal with it then.
5 baby crocodiles.
Agreed.
We're leaving the cabaret theatre area, and we're heading out towards the big rock. So we turn right out the rock. As we're heading out, we see a plume of well, it's not really dust because it's not dry enough after all the rain, but the kind of this plume of mud splatter and spray coming along, and you see a wagon charging towards you with at least 4 or 5 people that you can see on it. There's a wagon full of people charging full places at you. There's 4 horses. They are gunning it into your face. You don't know who it is. You don't know what they want, and you don't know what's going to happen the next. And on that note, we're going to call it a break. Joining us this time were Dr. Crud.
Slow down. It's a school zone, you jackass.
Olive.
Bye.
And Boltzmann.
Hello.
Oh, and leave us a 5-star review because it really does help, and then I will love you forever. And you know what? I'll even read it out for you if you specifically ask me to read it out for you. And if you don't specifically ask me to read it out for you, I'm still going to read it because guess what? Yeah.
There you go. That is a promise. See you next time.
We hope that you're enjoying this episode of the Fire Breathing Kittens podcast. Please leave us a review on iTunes.com. If you leave us a review, we'll read it on air. It's fun listening to the words of your review get read by the characters you know and love. So go to iTunes.com and leave us a review today. Can you think of someone who might enjoy this podcast? Please share it with them. Is their birthday coming up? A special anniversary? Would you like us to wish them a happy day on your behalf? You can arrange for us to read your shout-out on air at firebreathingkittenspodcast.com through our partnership with the website Buy Me a Coffee. Do you enjoy reading books? You can find paperbacks and ebooks based on our adventures on Amazon.com in the bookstore, Fire Breathing Kittens, that part's all one word, podcast. The authors do a great job of adapting the stories into fun novels. We also have official merchandise on Redbubble.com. Imagine owning a notepad with the Fire Breathing Kitten logo on the front, or a t-shirt with one of your favorite characters. And lastly, I'd like to take a moment to sincerely thank all of you. We don't pay to advertise this show, so the only way we can grow is through the support of listeners like you. Thank you.
Welcome back, everybody, to this episode of the Fire Breathing Kittens.
Thank you.
We are joined again by Boltzmann,
Hello, everybody.
by Olive,
Hey.
and by Dr. Crud III.
Thank you all for not stealing my line this time. Howdy.
Okay, left you to last so you could pick and choose and they couldn't copy you, these damn plagiarists. So, who's going to recap for us where we've got to and what happened in the first half of this episode?
You roll a dice, we'll all roll a dice. Whoever's closest to the number you roll goes. So, for example, I rolled a 12. Everybody else?
15.
1.
It's going to be Mr. Boltzmann.
All right.
Bapperson rolls.
Tell us about the horrible things your party members got up to last time.
Now, today has been an eventful day. And that is, in my eventful life, comparatively rare. So I'm here to explain everything. First of all, we woke up in a jail cell. Now, this is not a terribly unusual thing, but we did not remember being transferred there. And the sheriff told us that we were somehow drunk on the outskirts of town and asked to be put in the cell by the Pancioni family. Now, I've never heard of any Pancioni family, but this was bad news to me, so we were let out immediately and put together that we were at the Fire-Breathing Kittens Guild Hall with a half-elf who was new and trying to be recruited. And we passed out, probably from Rohypnol, and woke up in this jail cell. And the Pancioni family has probably had a hand in it. They asked to see us, but we did not do what they asked us to do. Instead, we went to the bar where there was a sleeping barman named Scroat McFlanagan. I've never heard of the guy, but he seemed all right to me. And an old fellow named Old Captain Crusty, who, upon my approach, immediately died. After which, the good Dr. Crot III brought him back to life. And he ran about in the streets, and I presume we will never see him again. Then we went over to the cabaret, where it would appear a crime was being committed. The crime was that the cabaret is not being used as a dance hall, but as the base for a gang, the gang of Jimmy Swivelhands. Now, I have not heard of Jimmy Swivelhands either, but I did not see him swivel his hands all that much. And it was not just Jimmy. There was Kelvin the Carpenter, Seamus the Bastard, and silly Joe Bangles. A handsome man, if you ask me. Kelvin the Carpenter and Dr. Crod went on a whole tour roasting one another. I think there was some tension there, but I could not tell whether it was sexual or adversarial in nature. It seems by the end...
First one.
Dr. Crud III got the upper hand. And Jimmy Swivelhands was friendly to us at the end, and told us about the abandoned mine. Information we'd pieced together ourselves, but apparently there's treasure in there that they will need to start up an orphanage. We promised to bring them the treasure, so that they can do that and become the sheriff of this town, and depose the incompetent fools that rule it now. We headed off toward the mines, and we saw a carriage headed toward us. And as I readied my rocket launcher, we were in this moment, and I started narrating the entire episode so far telepathically to my friends.
Your life flashed before your eyes, and you shared it with us.
Indeed.
I love the way how we had a meta loop close off to that whole piece. That was excellent. Very good. So that's where we are. So the wagon is charging towards us. Do we have any ideas who we think might be aboard that wagon?
The people we refused to see in the first half.
Our players have insight. This is very good. This is very good.
The plot
Absolutely.
will be forced upon us.
You will follow my plot points, you swine. So absolutely. So the wagon is heading full pelt towards you. The closer it gets, you start to see a little bit more of the a little bit more detail of the individuals aboard that wagon.
Are they armed?
Up front, you will soon to find out. Up front is the biggest form that you can see on the wagon. As you peer into the distance, it looks like a Goliath is the one on front, driving the horses and leading the wagons forwards. Sat next to him is a youngish, sort of early 20s, late 20s Dragonborn. And then there's two other characters in the back. One looks slightly larger and more rotund, and the other one is relatively slender and delicate. But you can't quite make them out because they're behind the first two guys. And that Goliath is a bloody big dude, so it's kind of hard to see around the back. But as you correctly surmised, this is indeed the Pancioni family, and they are charging towards you. So what do you do?
Dr. Crud will take Jenny out of the pocket, put her on the side of the street, and then stand right in front of the carriage with his hand out.
Boltzmann, Olive? Any supporting actions? Or are you just going to leave Crud to take this one on face first?
Boltzmann is going to ready a spell as soon as they will draw weapons. Is that what you're looking for, DM?
It's absolutely fine by me. I was going to give Olive a chance. Any action from your side, Olive?
Olive is going to climb. She can run vertically, and her movement is 50 feet. For example, if this is a 100-foot tall building, she can use her action, downgrade it into a movement, and then use her movement to get up to the top of the building. So I'd like to run up to the top of a building near Dr. Crud III.
Yeah, so the nearest building to you is going to be, you got the bar, the end, so there's the sort of the main street is going off to your left again, and you're heading up, let's call it north, because why not, towards the rock. So the nearest building to you is the bar on the left. Yeah, that's a relatively, so let's call it a 3-story building. So, you can run up to the top of that building. You're perched on the roof of the bar to the left-hand side of Dr. Crud.
Boltzmann will also start a combat dance and start a blade song, giving him intelligence to AC.
Very good. So, as the wagon approaches, fortunately, I mean, again, I'm not quite sure who would win on this game of chicken, Dr. Crud or the wagon. It's probably 50-50. Let's say the Goliath realizes that, and he starts to pull up the horses. The horses scream to a halt, inches, bare millimeters, in fact, in front of Dr. Crud's upraised hand. You can feel the snort of their breath on your fingertips as they dance and pad and stamp around in front of you as the wagon comes to a screaming halt.
Dr. Crud pats the horse on the snout, walks over to the driver, and says, "All right, look, you were going way too damn fast on these city streets. License and registration."
So the Goliath just looks down at you, shrugs and goes, "Ugh." But from the back of the wagon, "Mamma mia, che palle, rompicoglioni." So you hear a voice from the back of the wagon say, "Hey, what's this? What's this all about? You want to stop me in my town? Who are you? Who do you think you are?"
All right, sir, ma'am, whatever the hell you are, I'm not talking to you. This is between me and the driver. He was going way too damn fast, and I want to see his license, registration, and proof of insurance.
And the driver just looks at you again and grunts. Ugh.
Boltzmann will address the Italian lady. "Mama Pancioni, I presume."
"Hey, si, it's Mia. What you want? Who are you?"
"What do you want? You came at us."
"Hey, we're just driving in the street. We're on our way home. We didn't even see you there, apart from the fact that it's an 8-foot tall elephant. But until he stepped down in the street, we didn't even see him."
"Right. Well, in that case, there's no conflict between our parties except for the driver and our Luxodon friend here. So let's let them sort it out."
And as you say that, Mama Pancioni, she sticks her head out and realizes exactly who it is she's talking to, and she says, "Ah, it's our friends from the jail cell. You've woken up then."
We're not friends.
Hey, what is it? What is it you mean? We found you. We found you in the street, and we take you somewhere safe. We put you away. We look after you. We did the right thing.
By putting us in jail? No.
Hey, it was for your own.
You should have taken us to a hospital, you dummy.
You'd see a hospital around here? There ain't no hospital around here. There ain't no such thing. Ain't no even a doctor around here. The closest thing we got to a doctor is Deputy Coolmouse in the sheriff's office. So that's why we sent you there.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing. We were drugged and kidnapped and dropped on this side of town. So the question is, how did we get there? And why were we directed?
And why do you do it?
Hey, you don't know we did a nothing. We didn't do a nothing. What you mean? What you mean? And just as you say that, the other figure from the back of the wagon pops her head out, and it just so happens to be a rather attractive half elf woman in the back of the wagon. She doesn't say anything. She just looks at you, kind of with a little wry smile on her face.
Same woman as in the bar that we last remember?
Do we need to do some kind of check to see if you make sure it is the same woman? You know it's for sure it's the same woman?
We could.
Let's do that. Let's do a history check. Is that the right call?
Should all of us roll?
Yes.
That's going to be a 6.
7.
That's going to be a natural 20 for Boltzmann.
Okay, so fortunately, one of you has a decent memory, and yes, Mr. Boltzmann recognises quite clearly that it is the woman from the Guildhall.
I'm a giant brain. I know who you are. You were the one that drugged us. What do you have to say for yourself?
So she looks at you from the back of the wagon and says, I've got nothing to say for myself. Why should I say anything to you? You guys fell for the trick. We got you out here. I did my job. I ain't got to say nothing.
You just did.
Well, I ain't going to say nothing else.
You don't have to. You just admitted to the crime. Congratulations, dummy.
Okay, you're right. You got me. Fair enough. But you're here. We got you out here, and that was my job, and I did my job.
Let me phrase it differently. What do you have to say for yourself that will cause us not to attack you in the street?
So, and at this point, Mama Pancioni turns around and says, Cavity, sit back. Let me handle this, sir. I'm the mama. I got this. So, boys and girls, we brought you here for a reason, okay? We're trying to do a thing here, and it's getting a bit difficult. We've been here for a couple of months. We're trying to get in this mine. We need a bit of support. We wanted some help from some people, but we couldn't afford to pay you the money. So, I had to take some means to try and get you guys out here to be helping us out. Maybe it wasn't the best way to do it, but hey, what you gonna do? I did it. You're here, and that's what counts.
What we're going to do is we're going to put you in jail.
You're gonna have a difficult time putting me in jail. I don't want to go into no jail. I don't like it in jail. It's a nasty place. I've seen that. I smelt it. I don't want to be there.
Well, you don't have much of a choice in the matter. You committed a crime.
Okay, so let's see. So there's two ways this could go, right? That we could be talking it out, or there could be the aggressive option. It sounds to me like you're heading down the aggressive option.
We're definitely in a Mexican standoff right now. So, are they going to attack us, or are we going to let them pass, is the question.
Well, the Goliath at the front definitely doesn't have a happy look on his face. He starts to kind of loosen his armour a little bit. You see a battle axe on his back that's kind of that he starts to jiggle about. There's definitely signs of aggression that could be imminent.
I wouldn't be worried about him, guys. He's an idiot. He hasn't even spoken yet.
And on that note, Goliath looks at you one more time, grunts, and unsheathes his double-sided battle axe from his chest. I think it might be time to roll an initiative.
9.
12.
Also 9. Do you want to go first, Crud? Or should I go first?
Sure. That doesn't matter.
I'll go first.
Okay, you take it.
Right, so, Goliath has got his eyes on Dr. Crud, that's for sure.
Hello.
He is coming at you. We're not going to do anything fancy. We're just going to come in for a simple attack. Goliath rolls a 20 to hit. So the Goliath jumps down from the front of the wagon. He launches himself face first at Dr. Crud III and hefts his double-headed great axe over his shoulder, swinging it down towards the head of Dr. Crud III.
A 20 barely hits.
Barely hits or hits?
Barely hits.
So that's a hit from my recognition.
Yeah.
So that's an 11 damage. So as the Goliath launches himself towards Dr. Crud takes a little step back but doesn't manage to avoid the blow, and there's a sweeping slash across Dr. Crud's chest that leaves a gouge across his white leather lab coat. Lightly cuts into his chest, dealing 11 points of damage.
Ow.
Ow indeed. So next on the attack is the Dragonborn, the young Dragonborn, sat next to the Goliath on the front seat. He is a fighter. So he's got a rapier at his side. He isn't going to go for Dr. Crud. He's more interested in Boltzmann, the brain on a tube, who he thinks is one of the weirdest looking things he's ever seen. So he's coming at you with a 22 to hit.
Boltzmann uses his reaction to cast the shield spell, deflecting the blow and stepping out of the way like a dancer, rolling out of the way. I cast a shield spell, which improves my AC to 27 for the turn.
Okay, the next one up then is Cavity McCall. Cavity McCall is a rogue, and she has herself a longbow, a crossbow. My apologies. She has herself a crossbow, and she's spotted Olive sat up there on that roof, and she's going to have a crack at Olive with her longbow.
Yes.
So that is a 13 to hit.
Oh, can I step in front of it to make sure it hits me? My AC is 20, but I really want it to hit me.
You are a monk. You are basically a ninja. You can manage that, absolutely.
I can use my reaction to deflect or catch the missile when hit by a ranged weapon attack, but I was missed, but I want to catch it. The damage I take is reduced by 1d10 plus my dex mod plus my monk level, which is 5 plus 12, which is 17 plus 1d10, which is 6.
DM, can you just rule that since it missed her, that she just automatically catches it? So she can get her catch?
Absolutely, yeah. Totally, that is allowed. Absolutely, yeah. She's a monk. Just because it's missing her doesn't mean she can't grab it.
Yeah,
right? It was a close shot. It wasn't miles away.
Yeah. If you reduce the damage to 0, which is, what's 7 plus 16? It's more than 20.
23.
What was the damage of the arrow?
We were doing 8.
8 damage. Okay,
Yeah.
so I did reduce the damage to 0. I can catch the missile if it's small enough to hold in one hand, and I have a hand free, which I do because I don't have any weapons. I can spend a key point to make a ranged attack with what you caught as part of the same reaction. I make this attack with proficiency, and the missile counts as a monk weapon. I'm going to burn that key point, and I'm going to throw it back. All right, so that means I rolled a 16 to hit.
That's a hit.
And I hit her with her own arrow.
Excellent. Doing the same amount of damage back, I guess.
Yeah, whatever she would have done. I don't have arrow stats.
8 points
here,
of damage
so.
back. And Cavity McCall has taken her own arrow to the forearm, to the top of her forearm. It's kind of just gone in below her shoulder and done some pretty nasty damage. Now it's Mama Pancioni's turn. Mama Pancioni, the big lady, she's pretty dangerous. She has now Mama Pancioni. Oh, by the Mama Pancioni, the Pancioni family, if we hadn't followed it up to this point, is a family of dragonborns. So the younger dragonborn on the front of the thing was Giorgino Pancioni, the first son of Mama Pancioni. Mama Pancioni is a big lady. She's a big lady. Big lady dragonborn coming out from the back. And she is a sorcerer. So Mama Pancioni is going to... We're sticking to the cone of cold. 8d8, that comes up to... Hang on. 4, 5, 15, 21, 23, 20, 26.
It's going to be 21 Constitution saving throw.
It's a 13.
13 on the Goliath.
Well, so would the other Dragonborn.
Yeah, the Dragonborn next to him, too. He was in front of Mama. So we're gonna take Dragonborn's going to take 26 hit on that.
So Mama don't care about her progeny or her help, because the horses also take it.
No, she wouldn't get the horses.
It was definitely going off to the side, but you guys were in front of that cone of influence. So Mama Pancioni's done that. She's done a fair old whack of damage to our crew of guildmates here. And that is the round over for the enemies. Over to you guys. Next up, we've got Olive then. Olive
is currently standing atop a building, watching a cone of cold get sprayed by Mama Pancioni onto, everybody. Her son, her Goliath person, Dr. Crud III, and Boltzmann. And although Dr. Crud III braces himself, the strong elephant man, and leans into the cold, Boltzmann on his wheels gets pushed and it is seeming to be quite swept away by this blast of cold. in his brain face. So,
I am mostly liquid.
And with empathy for her friends and retribution and vengeance upon the people who decided to hire her by drugging her, good call, people? Question mark. She's going to teach him why that wasn't a good idea, and she's going to jump off of the building. Now, monks have this thing called slow fall, where we reduce the damage that we take when falling, which straight up, falling's a lot of damage. But we reduce it by 5 times our monk level, which is at level 12, 60 reduction of damage. So I leap off of the building and onto the cart, and I specifically leap onto Mama Panchoni, and I don't reduce my damage at all. And I hit her in the head with all of it. And when you reach terminal velocity, I'm not sure how high I am or whatever, but it ranges from 20 to 120 damage with an average of 70, if you do the math. So if you want to take the average, I would like to do both her and myself 70 falling damage.
Oh, God.
Okay. So I've got to do... there must be some kind of hit check on that. So I've got my armor class. I can defend against it, can't I?
Yeah, and I could jump off a building and miss and just hit myself. But if I see that I'm not going to hit her, I'll activate slow fall, if that makes sense.
Cool. So Mama Panchoni has an AC of 14 is what you've got to beat.
Okay. I rolled a 10 on the dice, and I've got a +9 if I'm considering myself a monk weapon.
Absolutely, yeah. Your body is your temple. Your monk is your weapon. So yeah, we've got a 19. 19 to hit. Mama takes a pasting. My lord, 70 points of hit points of damage to Mama Panchoni.
Yeah, to both of us, though. So Olive's got 15 hit points left.
Oof, okay.
So I'm actually worse off than she is. But I would like to think that maybe I scared her.
You have put the fear. Yeah. So anybody that's in a wagon.
And I'd like to do an intimidation check.
Okay. What's the offset against an intimidation?
Well, maybe my turn's over, and someone else would like to do an intimidation check because I'm busy dying. So, but that's the end of my turn. Roar! Splat.
Well, good turn. So yeah, absolutely. Mama Panchoni has just taken a 6 foot tall, 8 foot long lizard woman to the face.
I'm 5'10".
and 5'10" lizard woman to the face, and has come off. You know, she's still standing, but she's definitely not happy about it. So, Boltzmann, Dr. Crud, did we decide who's going next between you two?
Boltzmann will go next. So, Mama Panchoni looks quite hurt, right?
The phrase is massive damage.
Massive.
To the face.
To the face.
And Oliver's going to be in there. I think Boltzmann doesn't even need any spells. He's just a brain frozen solid in a block of ice right now. He's going to turn on his microwave to thaw the brain. But meanwhile, the mechanical body is still working. So Boltzmann is going to open up a part of his body where a harpoon comes out and is going to shoot it at Mama Panchoni. And the question is, does a 19 hit?
Very much so. Very much so.
And he's going to follow that up with a little shot of his firebolt laser pistol, which rolls a 23.
Okay, so both of these things hit. How much damage is the harpoon doing to begin with?
The harpoon is doing 12 damage. The firebolt is doing 29. That's 3d10. So that's a 10, and a 9.
Lord have mercy, Mama Panchoni, che palle, she is gone. Mama Panchoni
total of
has
41
been
damage.
Absolutely destroyed off the back of that double attack from Olive and the Boltzmann. Oh dear.
And here's the question for Boltzmann. Are you choosing to do lethal or non-lethal damage? This is your choice.
I'm doing non-lethal damage. And Boltzmann is saying, "Your leader is down. You are puny nobodies. What are you doing in our way? Get out. Get out of town.
Jail. Into jail.
Go to jail. Go to Nikomoy and go to jail. I don't know how long the trip is, but you should make it right now."
Awesome. So, right. So again, a mechanism question. What's the mechanism to pull out of combat at this point in time? This seems it's exactly what the DM wants to do, but what's the mechanism for it?
We surrender.
When they take the disengage action, they're not subjected to attacks of opportunity. It does consume their entire action. You have one action, one reaction, and one movement.
All three remaining guys, Georgino, Tiny Fredo, which was the name of the Goliath, by the way, and Cavity McCall, are all disengaging from the fight at this point. They see Mama get absolutely pasted, and they do not want to be on the receiving end of that ass whooping. So disengagement has occurred. They're all backing off, and they say, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" Georgino is now the sort of the next leader in charge. So Georgino says, "Hey, whoa, whoa, whoa! Chill, guys. Okay. We yield.
Tell us what you know about the treasure in the abandoned mine, and give us back our olive."
So the Goliath picks up the prone olive that is lying currently on top of Mama Pancioni still, and he gently places you back outside the wagon. And Georgino says, "Hey, what am I going to say? What am I going to say? We just been back to the mine. We're trying to find our friends. We got 3 guys who were down in that mine before the storm happened. We lost them. We ain't heard nothing back from them since. And we're just looking for those guys. You know, we were coming back here in the hope that you guys had woken up and you'd actually help us sort some of this out."
All right. Well, sounds like it's been a bad day for you. So let's go. Right to the sheriff's office. It's just right here, and we're locking you out. And then I will help your the Mama suppository get her up and running again. And Olive, I haven't forgotten about you. You're getting healed too.
Cool. Okay, so Crud, Dr. Crud, you're going to take the lead of the horses on the wagon, lead them back towards the sheriff's office with the unconscious Mama Pancioni, not suppository, in the back of the wagon. And the Goliath, Cavity McCall, and Georgino are begrudgingly, they're still in the wagon. They're coming along with you. You arrive at the sheriff's office. Sheriff Zonderkop hears the wagon pulling up outside, comes to take a look at what's going on, and looks very, very confused and surprised at what's occurring outside.
Oh, these guys are the ones that fed us the drugs that put us out. They kidnapped us, brought us over here. So they are right now in custody for drugging us, kidnapping, and also assault because this big guy right here that's probably my size, maybe a little bit smaller, he assaulted me. And Mama suppository right there, she also assaulted all of us. All of them for assault. Actually.
And they admit it.
Yes, they did admit it.
Okay, well, there's some pretty serious accusations you've got going on there, and we know I know the Pancioni family all too well nowadays, says the sheriff, and I can imagine what we're going to do. So what we're going to do then? I guess the only thing I can do at this stage is lock them up in the cells, and we're going to have to take some interviews from you guys and get some testimonies down.
I will testify.
Yes, we all testify. We give them their statement.
Yes, I signed my written statement.
Okay, so
hey, he's doing a good job at being a cop now.
So this is the thing about officers under cop, right? You know, if someone comes to him with completely watertight allegations and evidence and proof, and the perpetrators and their perpetrators' testimony, even he, however evasive he might be as a police officer, has still got to follow the letter of the law and put these guys in the jail. So that's exactly what he does.
So if we do their job for him, he will do his job.
That's about the limits of his level of effort here. I mean, it's not that he's trying to avoid doing his job. He's just rarely been put in a position where he's actually got to do it, and here is one of those times. So the Goliath gets locked up in the big cell that Crud was in. And there's 3 other cells in there ready for Cavity McCall, Giorgino, and Mama Pancioni. They are jailed. They are imprisoned.
Dr. Crud will apply a quick patch to Olive for healing her for 24.
Why, thank you. And that finishes healing me off completely. Because as a level 12 monk, I have wholeness of body. As an action, I can regain hit points equal to 3 times my monk level once per long rest. So that's 36. And then I'll take your 20-something. I'll go up like 50. I was only down 70. Feeling a lot better. I'm down like 25-ish. What was the exact number you gave?
24.
All right.
Dr. Crud will also look over Mama's suppository, figure out that she's not going to die, and then just lets her stay unconscious.
I mean, it's not even close to the word.
I'm at 75 out of 85 hit points. Thank you, Dr. Crud, the third.
Oh, you're welcome. Shall we go to the mine now? Apparently there's like 6 guys down there drowned.
Yes. Great body slam, Olive.
Thanks. And yes.
Okay, so I think the way we're going to run this, the fire-breathing kittens team of Olive, Dr. Crud III, Jenny, Boltzmann's monkey, and Boltzmann's giant cat beast follower thing. I'm still haven't quite worked out what the hell that is. They all jump back in the wagon that's perfectly placed outside, and they trot on off to the mine.
Hey, Olive, I have a wagon, and now you do too. This is yours.
No.
It's all yours, Olive. My body is a wagon.
It's so much slower than walking.
You don't use as much energy.
But I love exercise. I'll walk alongside the wagon. I have a walking speed of 50 feet per 6 seconds.
All right, fine. I will convert this also into a free clinic, and I will start a fleet of free clinics.
Oh, great.
Good stuff. So we're arriving at the mine. let's just move on. We're arriving at the mine. We're approaching what is known to the locals as the Rock, and again, it's.
By the way, I've just converted it from foot per second to miles per hour, and 50 feet per 6 seconds is 5 miles per hour.
5 miles an hour.
I'm not as fast as I thought I was.
It's a pretty good walk. 4 miles an hour is like an average human walking speed, so 5 is decent.
You would think like 30 feet per 6 seconds, right? Like you'd think that
sounds more than
50 sounds so high, but it's not. So I actually get in the carriage.
Yeah. Olive finds herself strangely falling behind the carriage, which is only trundling along very slowly, even though it's through the mud, and decides to just grab onto the back of it and is hanging onto the sort of tail end of the carriage as the carriage wheels off towards the mine. So as you're approaching the mine, you realise that this rock that you've seen in the distance, that looked quite big in the distance, is actually gigantic. It is a full-on Uluru style rock, and it is just plonked flat in the middle of this sparse, open, plain-like desert landscape. So it looks and feels very unnatural the way it's been positioned, but you don't question too much. You carry on towards it. You know you've got to get in. But as you approach closer, you start to see the point where the mine shaft is open and the entrance to the mine is there. You pull the wagon up outside, you jump off, and you head on in.
Is everybody able to see in the dark?
Absolutely not.
I light a torch for you.
Boltzmann gets out a spray can and sprays it into Dr. Crud III's eyes. Grant him dark vision for 8 hours.
Oh my god, that stings like hell. What the hell are you doing to me?
Actually, Boltzmann has got a new item that he crafted called the Mizium Apparatus, which allows him to cast wizard and artificer spells that he does not have prepared. It does require an Arcana check, which is a DC of 10 plus double the level of the spell. So Dark Vision is a level 2 spell, which would be a DC 14 Arcana check. Fortunately, I have a plus 13 to Arcana, so as long as this is This is a 16 plus 13 is a 29. So Dr. Crud can now see in the dark after the sting wears off.
Well, I thank you for letting me see in the dark, but this is the second thing, maybe third thing you've done, just willy-nilly. You and I are going to have a long talk after this about asking permission, Oh,
but you are a doctor. I'm sure you understand. Sometimes you know what's good for other people.
It's very important to ask permission and get consent.
All right, Dr. Crud. It was all to help you see in the dark.
It'll happen later. I said after.
Okay, so we have Boltzmann has dark vision already, I guess. Dr. Crud now is blessed with dark vision, whether he wanted it or not. Olive?
Olive lights a torch.
Olive lights a torch.
Olive, should I also grant you dark vision? It's really no
now? Now he does consent.
What? Are you deriding me for being inconsistent after deriding me, asking me to change? I'm following up on your suggestion.
I like that you changed, so I say yes to the dark vision, and I put out the torch.
Cool. So all three of our players are blessed with dark.
All right, I will roll another d20.
Oh no, we have to do the check. I think it's kind of arbitrary. I'd be willing to just give you that.
8 plus 13, yes.
Yeah. Olive has dark vision too. Cool. So you enter the mine. So on entrance to the mine, I'm not going to lie, this is a pretty typical mine shaft. There's only so many variations of mines that you're ever going to come across in these kind of styles. The one thing you do notice about it is that it is significantly wetter than most mines that you imagine walking into. There is water dripping from the ceilings. There are puddles of water on the floor. You get the feeling that this mine has been just as much a part of the recent deluge as the town suffered. So you walk into the mine with your dark vision active. You see, various bits of mining implements around, shovels, rusty pickaxes, buckets, barrels of stuff, all kind of dotted around. And in front of you, you see two different paths, one leading off to the left and one leading off to the right. You want to choose a path.
Are there any tracks?
Tracks, roll yourself a perception check. Actually, no, don't worry about a perception check because unfortunately, no, there are no tracks. The water damage, the mud on the floor, any tracks that were there previously have been kind of spoiled and covered over by the mud and the water.
Dr. Crud's going to put his nose in the air and sniff down each hallway for drowned people.
Fortunately, you don't smell any drowned. I'm assuming you're sniffing for corpses. So fortunately, you don't sniff any corpses. But again, I think this is probably a time to roll a perception check and to find out what you do smell.
All right. That's going to be 22.
Okay. Mixed in, so we've got the left and the right tunnels. So you're sniffing at both tunnels to see what's going on down each route, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So on the left-hand route, you sniff, and really all you can smell is just, again, damp, water, mud, muck. There's nothing specific that you're able to perceive down that route. On the right-hand route, you can smell a much stronger sense of minerally, kind of rocky, minerally kind of smell, that kind of metallic twinge that some minerals and rocks come with, and definitely a hint of something bestial. Not entirely sure what it is. No, 22. Let's be honest, you can smell it, and I mean, I don't know what your recognition of smells is like, Dr. Crud, but you think that you can smell spiders and spider webs.
All right, guys. To the right is spider webs and spiders. To the left is nothing special. And no dead bodies being detected by my snaz at this time. Well, which way, guys?
If there are people missing...
Yeah, there's 6 people missing.
If there are people missing in these mines, they might have been captured by the giant spiders.
Yeah.
Oh. So spider people?
Yes.
Cool. So you head off down the right-hand path. It's not a long path. Leads you through a little tunnel. Usual mine type stuff. There's a few wooden stilts and struts hanging over you. You're getting constantly dripped on by the ever present drip, drip, drip of the water running from the ceiling. And you come to another room, but it's empty. There's nothing in there apart from, again, a couple of barrels, little pickaxe that's gone a bit rusty. Again, down this room, there's 2 routes in front of you, one to the left, one to the right. Want to do the same thing?
Yep, Dr. Crutch smells it again.
Same principles. Off to the left, you smell pretty much nothing. You get that sense of dampness, but it smells a little bit further away now. And off to the right is a much stronger scent of spiders, spider webs, and what you pretty much have guessed you are walking into.
All right, guys. Spider people, spider webs, probably trussed up people from both sides of the war. And Olive, I gotta say, you look very moist. You have to be really happy right now.
I love mud.
I know you do. To the right?
Sure.
Cool. So, ladies and gentlemen, roll me an initiative check. And I will write it down this time.
Non-natural 20.
19.
7 plus 9 again. 7 plus 2 again, for a total of 9.
Okay. You guys are walking into this into the room. You see in front of you, there's some spider webs around. They're not too big, they're not too thick. It makes you think that can't be that many spiders happening in here. But as you walk slightly further into the room, you see as your vision comes into the room, you see there's 3 giant wolf spiders crawling around in the back of the room, and 2 swarms of much smaller spiders out in front of you. With a nat 20 on the attack, it is clearly Olive's turn to go first.
Oh, non-natural.
Oh, it wasn't natural. Okay, still, it's Olive's turn to go first.
I would like to perceive any white silk wrapped humanoid forms.
You perceive no such thing.
See if they talk.
Hello. Oh, no, I'm not high enough level monk yet, but one day I'm going to be able to talk to spiders.
Cool. The spiders blink at you. You wait for about 30 to 45 seconds for all of their eyes to blink thoroughly before you carry on talking to them. But you get no visible response from the spiders. In fact, they look like they are just about to jump at you and attack you.
Okay, I take out food from my pack and I toss it kind of to the side of them, and it's delicious. It's raw meat.
It's spider food, is it?
Well, do they like raw, juicy flesh?
The spiders are absolutely, they love a bit of juicy flesh. They do.
Oh, I throw
Chow down that stuff.
5 pounds of ground beef smelling raw, juicy flesh over there. Nom nom.
Well,
Are you always carrying that?
What do you think I eat? Also, it's a cat. It's a dog. It was a dog. This was a spare collie that someone had let run off, and it was eating people in a dog pack. So I killed the dogs, and I harvested the flesh. This was the back left leg of a collie. Mm-hmm.
Okay. The spiders are absolutely, they smell it. They want it. They need it. All 3 giant spiders and both of the swarms of much smaller spiders dart off on top of this meat and start devouring it. They are no longer paying you guys any attention whatsoever.
Dr. Crud throws his hole underneath them. They fall 10 feet into the hole, and then he picks it up, and they are now trapped in the hole.
With the whiskey from earlier.
Yeah. That's okay. They're not gonna have very much air in there, so once the air's gone, it's not gonna matter.
Fair enough. Okay, well that was simple.
Dr. Crud, these spiders were not harming anybody, and they will eat giant flies and mosquitoes.
Yeah, these are natural pest reduction creatures. Just think of the giant things they're eating to stay alive in here. The mosquitoes the size of your house. Cockroaches as big as a bus.
Or people.
Have you ever seen a giant mosquito, Dr. Crud? I can tell you it's harrowing. Not many survive such an encounter.
I need these spider parts for medical purposes.
Okay. And then, DM, you can make him do a roll to see if he can really throw a giant portable hole. Because I don't think the portable hole is meant to be a battle-ending item.
No, so okay. So A, we're not too concerned from a DM perspective at the moment.
Okay.
B, I kind of like the way you dealt with it. C, these are very hungry spiders, so the fact that they definitely would have gone after that meat because there are no noticeably large chunky mosquitoes, or if they are, they've largely been eaten by all the hungry spiders. And it seems as though these guys haven't been chowing down on any human or actually dwarfen or other species flesh in recent times. So no, absolutely works for me. Absolutely fine.
Okay. And I did look it up, and for future Babirusa and spider killing purposes, they get a DC 10 strength check. On a successful check, the creature forces its way out of the hole, by the way, for the future. So it's not a perpetual, I have a giant hole.
I have a trick. Well, that's good.
So they remain in there of their own volition.
Indeed. They are. They're still chowing on the meat. I mean, they're really hungry, and quite frankly, by the time they realise they're in the hole, it's too late. Dr. Crud's picked it up, and there's no way out.
Uh-oh.
However,
And besides, after they're done with the meat, you know they're coming to us.
they're gonna try. So that's them dealt with. You look ahead, and you see another 2 routes in front of you, one off to the left and one off to the right. Where do you head?
Sniff, sniff.
I would like to check for spider eggs.
Very good. So, absolutely. So, as you look off down the tunnels, off the left tunnel, you notice a kind of faint, ice white, bluey kind of glow emanating from the room. Kind of the tunnel goes off around the corner slightly. You can just see this glow coming around the room, and you definitely notice the spider webs are starting to get thicker down that route, and that gives you a sense of what's happening. But from Dr. Crud's perspective, on the perception check for the smell side of things, you can quite happily smell spiders down both of these routes, and you're pretty sure that there's something going on in either of the two options.
All right, guys, it smells like more spiders. Do we really want to mess with these spiders?
I kind of want to try spider egg caviar, but I think we're here to save people, right? I don't know. Boltzmann,
Yeah.
What do you think?
I feel like we could check out the spiders a little bit more. Do you have any more ground beef?
Yeah, this is not beef.
It's dog.
Ground dog.
It used to be cat, but now it's dog.
This is dog.
Do you have any more dog meat?
I do. Beans asked me to stop eating cats, so I now eat dogs. It's okay. They don't have souls. And it's actually super sadder if they don't have souls, because then this is the only life they have. But anyway, they shouldn't be a pack of wild dogs eating people. That's what I say.
That's fair.
Did you just say they don't have souls?
I'm not sure. No,
they do have souls. It's a scientific fact that dogs have souls. There's ways to determine these things.
Yeah, I rescued one.
Excuse me?
I rescued one. There was one that went to Changeling Heaven, and we brought it back and gave it back to the Rockstar lady.
Yeah.
One of the many imperial ways to determine that dogs do have souls, indeed. Thank you, Dr. Crud.
Just go to heaven, get the dog, bring it back. Don't lie to Olive and say it was a demon. Okay, but yeah, so this is dog meat right here. I do have more. Yes. This was a pit bull.
Okay. Just for future reference, I will inform you now that dogs do have souls.
Okay.
Boltzmann, can you make us invisible?
Of course I can.
Well, why don't we just do that? And then we could just walk around freely, and they don't never see us, and, we don't get eaten by spiders.
If you want to be invisible, Dr. Crud, let's do it. I love being invisible. It does involve more spray. It gets a can of deodorant. Looks like it. Now, this works like deodorant, but it's for the eyes instead of the nostrils. And I will only use this on the 3 of us. So I'm afraid that you might have to keep Jenny inside your beans bucket, and Miss Motico and Mr. Langley will have to stay here and look after one another.
Well, she's in the Jenny pocket, but yeah, that's where she normally is.
All right. Then nothing is stopping us. And I will cast a 4th level invisibility to turn the 3 of us invisible for 1 hour.
Very good.
Crunch. Crunch.
Crunch.
I imagine that giant spider is just like King Crab.
See, crunch, crunch, crunch. So, well, you've still got the option of which way to go. Do you want to go left? Do you want to go right?
Glowy.
Telepathically, Boltzmann says, "Let's go left. We can speak telepathically, so we don't give ourselves away by speaking through
Off
air."
to the glowing route. So you head down the pathway to the left, and as you come around the corner, you realise that the glowing is coming from the rock formation that's sort of buried inside the rock. And around it are clearly, obviously, more spiders. One of them was a phase spider, and the other one was 2 giant spiders. And these things have clearly been warped, and they've grown from the effect of the output from this weird glowing mineral formation that seems to be pretty much at the core of this giant rock that's landed somehow in this desert. But you're invisible, so they don't know you're there. What do you do?
Do we see bodies?
No bodies. Not a hint, a sign of a human or any other non-spider-like species around at all.
Can we quickly investigate the room for anything interesting?
So the most interesting thing in the room are by far the spiders and this mineral rock formation.
The mineral rock formation.
What about spider eggs so Olive can have her caviar?
And absolutely, there are pods of spider eggs dotted around and around the mineral formation, up the walls. They're lodged in spider webs, and these too are glowing in the same kind of weird icy blue light.
Can I make a nature check or arcana check or something to tell more about this mineral formation?
Yes, you can. I would do a. I'll let you choose arcana or nature. Either one are valid in this.
Tell you what, you do arcana, I'll do nature.
All right. That's a total of 29.
Okay.
And a 25.
Right. Well, fair enough. Impressive rolls.
Level 12, everybody.
I'll answer this as a combined total of both of your rolls then, not trying to address each one separately. So, from what you understand, from Dr. Crud's understanding of geophysics, that's what we're talking about here, there is nothing about this mineral formation that seems of your world or that you've ever seen before. And from Boltzmann's Arcana and Magical check, you do not recognise anything that this is any kind of magical force, energy, power that you recognise from the world that you've been on for your entire life. Ultimately, the deduction from that is that this is spatial. This is a meteorite. This is a gigantic rock that has landed possibly millennia ago. You also realise that as you were walking through, the valley in which this rock has landed isn't so much as a valley as just a gigantic crater. The desert floor you've been walking across is the flat space made by the crater, and this rock is sticking out from absolutely nowhere. So yeah, you are pretty sure that you are looking at non-terrestrial. I'm not sure if that applies to Earth or if it applies equally to Nicomoy as it does to our actual world. But yeah, you are basically looking at non-terrestrial rocks and magic minerals from outer space.
Fire-breathing kittens in space.
Been there, done that.
It appears we have found the treasure.
How big is it?
So yes, you have found what I think most people would consider to be the treasure of the mines. How big is it? You don't know quite really how big is it because it just disappears deep into the rock formation at the back. But you can clearly see that there is more accessible mineral than you could carry as a single thing that you are, giant elephant man. Procoptodon? What do you call yourself?
Loxodon.
A loxodon. So definitely more than you could carry even as a single gigantic a loxodon.
How many spiders are in here?
There's 3 spiders in here. 1 phase spider, 2 giant spiders.
All right, guys, what do you think about taking out these spiders and then we can start chipping away and take as much rock as we can stick in my hole?
I'm a little concerned that the rock is going to make you a giant loxodon.
Well, that would be cool.
All right, then yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so I think I was a little point ago. I was going to remind that there are two objectives of being inside this mine. One is finding the treasure. The other is finding the trap people. But we'd forgotten about the trap people. But I think so. We'd forgotten about the treasure. We've remembered it now. So okay, so initiative time against the spiders.
We're invisible. Have they seen us, or do we get a surprise round?
You will get a surprise round. Absolutely.
I will ask Mr. Langley and Miss Martico to sneak up and rejoin us, but not enter the cave yet, so they won't be seen.
Yep.
It's an 18 for me for initiative.
9.
Another 9.
Great. So, Dr. Crud, lead the way.
All right, Dr. Crud is going to take out his bone saw, and he's going to go up to the biggest spider and start... he's going to try to just separate the head from the body.
Okay.
That is good. Ooh. That is a natural 20, so it's 30 to hit.
Oh, that hits.
Okay. That is going to be 17 damage to the neck.
Very good. Dr. Crud swings that jagged-looking bone saw that has become progressively more blood-stained and rusted since his pacifist days ended. It connects with the face spider and lops off one of its front legs, doing 17 points of damage. Nasty.
The rust is a health benefit.
It's iron. It adds iron and oxidization to the blood. Absolutely. Next to go is Olive.
Olive uses Flurry of Blows to look for, I guess, like, does it look kind of like this spider is about to die?
The spider's it's taken a good chunk of damage. It's not on its last. There's a pun there. There's a leg pun that I was about to come up with. It's not on its last legs.
The last leg.
It's not on its last legs. It's on its last 7th legs. But yeah, you want to have a crack at this spider.
I will beat it, but not like if it drops, I'm not going to keep beating it. The cool thing about being a monk is these are individual blows. So first, I punch it with a 23 to hit for 7 damage. Is it still up?
It's still up. Takes
then
a 7
a 21 for 14 damage as I punch it again.
The 14 damage, it is still up.
Then a
but
15
it is
to hit.
You're hitting all the way through, and I get the feeling if you hit it one more time, it will probably no longer be. Well, it will find its last leg will have been, and it will have gone.
Okay, so that third blow was a 15 to hit. Did that hit?
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
11
You've
damage.
hit every shot. 11 damage. That would kill it outright.
Well, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna do
Not kill
non-lethal
it.
damage because
Non-lethal on the last
I
shot.
already have plenty of crab to eat.
Well,
And then I have a 4th blow. So if there's anything else within 50 feet of me, like 50 feet
this
total
is
moving.
approximately 50 feet round room,
Okay.
and there's 2 other giant spiders in it. So,
I punch
take
another
your
one
pick.
for 24 to hit and 11 damage.
and you do 11 damage.
And that was, if you can picture it, a bipedal crocodile wearing a white Jedi-style robe and baggy brown pants just wailing on things with her fists because her arms have become stronger and she's much less fat than she used to be. Now it's muscle.
And unfortunately, these poor spiders that were managed to get in her way, and they didn't even see it coming. This is spider abuse, arachnid abuse, nearly. So okay, well we have.
It's just pre-tenderizing the meat.
We have Mr. Boltzmann's turn.
So there's still 2 giant spiders up?
There are still 2 giant spiders up. One has taken a pretty fair chunk of damage again. The other one is currently untouched.
Yeah. Boltzmann is going to roll up to the one that Olive just attacked. Boltzmann is he's not having a very hard time rolling in these caves. I keep forgetting he's on wheels. But yeah, that's a role-playing decision.
I thought I'd glance past that point
Yeah.
for the continuation purposes.
and is going to jab this giant spider with his harpoon. For the people at home, the harpoon is a returning javelin. So it's both a melee and a thrown weapon that returns. And he's going to do that with a booming blade. And that's going to be an attack roll of 25.
Hits.
And that's 18 damage.
Oh, that's done. These spiders aren't quite as tough as I thought they were going to be. So spider number one, giant spider number one is down. There's one giant spider left.
Yeah, and Boltzmann will fire his harpoon at the other for a 22 and does 11 damage.
Okay, that hits. 11 damage is taken.
And he will get the Displacer Beast in here. Now, how far away are we from the entry of the cave?
So the cave was 50 foot round. The spiders were kind of at the back of the cave. So I'd say there's at least 30 to 40 foot between the cave entrance and where the spider is.
Okay, she's got a speed
and your
of...
guys were a little bit outside.
Oh, and Boltzmann will start his blade song just in case. And the Displacer Beast has got a speed of 40 foot, so she runs up and attacks the giant spider with two of her tentacles for an attack roll of 15 and 24.
Both hit.
That's another 17 damage.
And spider number two goes down. The spiders didn't even get a look in. That was savage.
Yeah. And the Displacer Beast starts devouring the giant spider.
Okay, lovely.
Good girl.
Just in case we thought we were going to sleep tonight, now we get to see that. Lovely.
That's a great job, everybody. Let's start collecting all the eggs, the carcasses, and then this meteorite.
Oh, man. First, we got to try the eggs. I definitely take my, it's like a metal file, but it's wider, and you use it on, nutmeg if you're Chef John from Food Wishes, or on meteor rock if you're Olive. And I get some salt to salt it. I don't know. I like it. Is it salty? The meteor rock.
The meteor rock.
Yeah.
Go on, but lick it.
I lick it.
If you want to season your recently deceased spider's eggs with outer space, glowing, mineral, salty rock, I am not going to be the one to stop you doing that, Olive. You do you.
I do that. How's it taste?
It tastes good.
Caviar with salt.
Yeah, no, it tastes good. Surprisingly, actually, it's got that exact kind of salty thing. However, when you stick your tongue out, it is now glowing the kind of icy white blue glow of the eggs.
Good job, Olive. It might not look like it, but you are practicing science. Your tongue is glowing, by the way.
Uh-oh.
And actually, it's not just your tongue. The glow is emanating from the depths of your throat down past your tonsils as well. Just by the way.
All right.
Dr. Crud is going to examine Olive, doing a medical check to make sure that she's not going to die within the next 30 seconds. Make sure she's not poisoned or anything like that.
Go on then, roll a medicine check. Oh, there's no point in you rolling a medicine check, is it? Do you ever fail?
No, I have a 15 plus 10, so that's going to be a 25.
25.
I have purity of body. I'm immune to poison and disease.
Interesting.
By the way.
So yeah. So there's nothing poisonous there. There is the. Where am I going to take this?
My lifestyle is really working for me.
Tell me, Olive, is the effect beneficial? If so, I will try to ingest it as well in some way. I do not have a tongue.
So, given Olive's natural resistances to poison, the only effect that this seems to have is a general what's the word?
Glowiness.
A general expansion of Olive as a total. So actually what was happening is where the spiders were living with this rock over the years and years that they'd been there in multiple generations, each time every new generation was slightly larger, slightly stronger and slightly glowier than the generation before. After eating the egg, Olive grows by about an inch in every direction, and feels a renewed sense of energy and vigor. So her health points, I think you're only down a couple. Her health points top up by another 5 points.
Holy crap, you got bigger. Oh, I want to do that too. Dr. Crud will grab 12 of the eggs and down them.
So unfortunately, the eggs have a failing me. You've beaten me. You've beaten my lexicon into the ground. They have a inversely exponential proportional effect. So having 12 eggs does not mean you increase, unfortunately, by 12 inches, but you do grow by another 2.5 inches, which is quite surprising. And again, all of your health points revert.
8 feet, 2.5 inches now.
8 feet, 2.5 inches. There you go.
Dr. Crud, can you give me the digestive tract of a spider so that I may outfit my mechanical body with it and take part in eating these minerals?
I have an idea for you. Hold on one second. Dr. Crud's going to grab an egg. He's going to open the case that has the brain, and he's going to start rubbing the brain with the egg, squishing it all into that brain.
Now, hold on. You were just talking about consent, and you're touching my brain without asking. You do not just unscrew somebody's lid like that, my friend.
You asked me to make
thing.
you like us.
I asked you for a spider digestive tract.
Dr. Crud III, it goes both ways. Gotta do what he consented to.
I thought I was.
Does it have any effect?
So, unfortunately for Mr. Boltzmann, although his brain, I mean, his brain is he is a brain, and his brain is he, right? It is you all encompassing. His brain is now glowing in this rather pretty, rather pleasant, kind of pearlescent, icy blue-white glow. But it's made it grow to the point where he now actually is fully filling the inside of his tube that he lives in. So basically, Dr. Boltzmann right now is just a walking, talking headache in a jar. You're going to need to find yourself a bigger jar, Boltzmann. That's the only outcome that's gone on here.
How big is Boltzmann? Does he get any bonuses to intelligence?
No, unfortunately, there's no actual stat enhancing power to this mineral. It is purely growth and health regeneration. So you are a bigger brain?
I'm going to have to find a bigger jar.
Do you feel smarter?
So there's no mechanical effect. I'm just bigger and glowing.
You are just bigger and glowing. So you're going to find yourself, and it's probably quite cool. You're probably going to be able to light the way for you're now a rolling lamp brain on a tube. But yes, it's not comfortable to be in there right now because, as we all know, when your brain swells from dehydration, you have got a banging headache.
Boltzmann casts Cure Wounds on himself, injecting his brain with some painkillers. So, does this have any? How big will Boltzmann be now? How big does the tube have to be in diameter?
Boltzmann's expanded by another sort of. It's a full area. So it's not just an upwards growth. It's a full area of expansion by about 1.5 inches. Let's call it that, to the brain, because it's all just rather than spreading the effect of the eggy mineralness over the whole body. You're a much smaller space, so you've grown proportionally. You've grown a little bit bigger than everybody else.
Okay, so his eyes are just propped up against the glass.
Exactly, yeah, kind of like squishing against the front of the glass.
But
there is squishiness going on all through you.
But it's still going to be medium-sized if I get a new body. Right?
Oh, you will still be medium-sized. You haven't grown into a large. It's not that. No.
Oh, don't worry. We can put a new fishbowl on you.
Yes. I constructed this body myself, Dr. Crud. I'm sure you can appreciate the medical technology.
Cool. So that's the end of some spiders. You've got yourself a big old stack of minerals and a backpack full of eggs. What's next?
We harvest the bodies, we harvest the eggs, we harvest the minerals.
I start a fire and I cook not the eggs. I cook the eggs and the legs. And king crab, Alaskan king crab.
What are you going to do with the unconscious phase spider?
Oh, it's in the hole.
So you're just going to suffocate it?
More medical parts.
I was just wondering if there are any plans for it. Should I try to tame it like I did this displacer beast?
I mean, if you really, really want to, yeah, you can have it.
Let's not. Let's take it to another cave and set it free. These creatures are rare, and I would hate for it to go extinct on our behalf.
Well, technically, it is an invasive species because it's not supposed to be this size. So if we let it live and let it get out into the environs, then it's going to disrupt the local wildlife and everything like that. So actually, we're doing everybody a favor.
Oh, like the cane toad. It's just too big. It eats everything. Yeah.
I'm sure there are areas where the local wildlife has long been disturbed, and we can let this phase spider loose to set things straight.
So you want to make it worse?
Introduce cane toads to your wildlife area today, says Boltzmann.
What's the worst that could happen? Let's take it to an area with giant mosquitoes.
Yeah.
A total collapse of the natural order of the area.
Extinction of the native species.
Oh, there's no problems that you can't fix with a bigger invasive species.
All right, sure. Olive gives you the giant phase spider.
Boltzmann has never heard the story of the lady that ate the fly.
Oh, I was just watching Philly Wang Wang's stand-up comedy special last night.
Oh, yeah.
With the story of the lady who ate the fly. Oh, man.
I watched that only 2 nights ago. There you go. It reminded me of that. So, right. So, okay. So, phase spider is. What was the outcome of that then? Are we tying it up and taking it with us, or are you tying it up and taking it with you, or is it now dead and in parts in Dr. Crud's hole, so to speak?
But Boltzmann is going to summon a floating disc, carry the phase spider out, tie it up, and Boltzmann is going to release it in one of the giant jungles that are plagued by giant mosquitoes, one of mankind's truest, worst horrors.
Very good. Okay.
Until they meet the spider.
Until they meet the phase spider.
What's the worst that could happen?
So you're heading back to the
Total
mine
ecological collapse.
We're the heroes.
that is that's a Dr. Pepper moment in and of itself. Right. So we're heading back to the mine entrance, are we? Is that where we're going?
Well, we still got dead bodies to find.
Yep.
I mean, the drowned guys.
And I'm looking for shriveled up corpses covered in like mummified people covered in spider egg silk.
Yeah, there's none of that going on.
Yeah, there's like 6 dead bodies down here.
Let's continue on searching.
Yeah. At this point, we are the rescue team recovering.
Indeed.
And we know these spiders can't do nothing against us, so.
They're the spiders. They've literally haven't even tickled you, have they? So right. So where are you going? Which way? So you're in the room with the glowing minerals in it. There are 2 exits from this room, as there have been. There is the path that you came in off, or another path off to the left. Which way you want to go?
Let's continue.
Yeah.
So the path you came, the path that you didn't come down, leads you back to another room. Which is just, to be honest with you, it's just full of yet more spider webs, more eggs, and just general damp, muddy muck and goo lying around. There is only one other exit from this room, fortunately. So do you want to snaffle up a few more spiders' eggs and then head off?
Oh, all of them.
All the spiders' eggs?
We're not leaving any trace of this ecological disaster.
Cool. So you're probably up to about 60 spiders' eggs in the backpacks right now. So let's call it that. So okay, you head out of that room. You're back to the first room where you met the swarm of spiders that are now sat in the hole. There was only one exit to that room. I assume you want. Well, it's back the way you came to the glowing boss room, or the way out. You're into the first empty room that you came across. 2 exits there. One leads you back to the entrance. The other one leads you to some unknown spots. Which way you want to go?
Unknown spot. Unknown spot.
That leads you through to just one more empty room. But from this empty room, there are another 2 exits. There's one that goes back to the entrance again. So that takes you full loop. Or there is basically what looks like a waterlogged tunnel. All you can see is a pool of water that you could go splashing into.
Olive goes splashing in.
Olive goes splashing in.
1 second, Olive. I will ritual cast water breathing on all of us.
Oh, but I don't... Okay.
She's a crocodile.
I'm a crocodile.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just telling you, it takes 10 minutes, so...
Okay, I wait politely for 10 minutes and I braid Jenny's hair. I don't know. I play patty cake with Jenny. Whatever. I feed her some raw dog meat. And
Okay, high or low to see if she likes it.
Hi.
Okay, she likes it.
I offer her Pitbull.
She likes you today.
Yay. And I can hold my breath for 15 minutes, by the way.
Okay.
I guess I'll water breathe if I have to. Okay.
I was trying to get to that question.
I will create a underwater breathing apparatus for you just in case. You can carry it in your pocket and use it if you need it.
Okay.
You go out ahead and scout, and then we'll just wait for the apparatus.
Okay.
You dive into the tunnel with this water.
I carry the, breathing thing in one hand just in case I need it, and I swim it.
There you go. Brilliant. So,
and I have a 50 feet movement per 6 seconds, which is my underwater speed, which is actually impressive. 5 miles per hour underwater. Now that's impressive. 5 miles per hour on land. Okay.
Not so much. So, the tunnel. To be fair, it's quite a long tunnel. It goes deep down inside this rock. You're swimming along down there for best part of a minute, just less than a minute, I guess, before you come out to the other side. It's a little windy tunnel. You come out, and you pop. Yeah. It's amazing how simple it ends up, isn't it? You pop out the other side, and you're in. All of a sudden, you're in just a single enclosed room. No other entrances or exits, and there are 6 people sat in this room, shouting and screaming blue bloody murder at it. On one side of the room, you've got 3 dwarfs, all brandishing axes, screaming and looking angry and frustrated. And on the other side of the room, there is a human, an Arakoka, and another one of the Dragonborns.
Oh, okay. I want my friends to be here and to help in the decision-making process, so they look like they're actively screaming at one another, like they're going to fight, or they're just, yelling?
They are on the verge of fisticuffs, yes.
Oh, so I don't have time to go get...
But they've been on the verge of fisticuffs probably for about 8 hours, so I think you probably would have time to go back and get your friends if you wanted to.
Okay, well, I will, before I go and get my friends, I leap out of the water, and I've got wet Jedi-style robes and wet baggy brown pants, and I'm like, hello!
And that definitely causes silence to fall over the room. Nobody was expecting that. That's been in this little tomb for the last 3 days. In unison, all 3 dwarfs, the Arakoka, the human, and the Dragonborn swing their heads to the left or right, depending what side of the room they're on, and basically just gawp in shock and surprise and confusion at this this rather wet-looking lizard, who somehow manages to pull off quite a stylish, bordering on sexy look for what she's for that's kind of damp, drizzling, water's pouring
body
off
like
around
a Ken
her.
doll.
Imagine Ursula Andress coming out the water in the Bond movie. It's that kind of style
just
situation.
Flat, like a board, no external
There you
genitalia.
go.
And I say, "You're rescued. I'll be right back with support." And then I go underwater and I get my friends. And I pop up out of the water and I'm like, "Hello."
Hi, Olive. What's over there?
3 dwarves and an I wasn't listening. 6 people.
3 dwarfs, 1 human, 1 Arakoka, and 1 Dragonborn.
Yeah.
Are they alive or are they drowned?
They're alive and quite spirited. Sounds like they want to fight one another, and they've been here a while.
Well, tell them that all they gotta do is just swim over here and they'll get out.
Oh, you want me to go get them? Okay. All right.
Just tell him to swim this way.
I hop back in the water again. I take the water breathing device and I fit one of them at a time. So I'm like, hello again.
So let's say the Dragonborn turns around to you and says, "What the hell is this? What are you even doing here? Who are you?"
I'm a fire-breathing kitten with my friends, Dr. Crud III and Boltzmann. I have brought Boltzmann's water-breathing device, and I would like to lead you through the tunnel. I swim quite fast, and I'd like to help you get out of here if you're stuck. Are you stuck?
Yeah, we've been stuck in there with these idiot dwarfs for the last, I don't know, feels like forever, but at least 2 or 3 days. If you've got the apparatus, I want to get out of it. Give it here. Let's go.
Okay, one person at a time, please. I help them through the tunnel, and I bring them back to Boltzmann and Dr. Crud III, the loud, annoying one first.
Just to be perfectly rules legal, water breathing has a range of 30 feet, up to 10 willing targets, and it's a ritual spell. So,
okay. So I might not be able to actually share it with them.
Effectively, we can share it with them in a different way, so as long as it's narratively okay, I would say proceed, but...
I mean, what's Boltzmann's underwater?
Boltzmann doesn't breathe. He's just, he's not as fast as Olive, but he's just rolling along the bottom of the, the tunnel. As a giant glowing brain.
I bring Boltzmann up out of the end.
So that's how I envisage them. Boltzmann wheels himself down this tunnel. He pops out the other side. As he meets all 6 of the characters at the other end of the tunnel, he casts water breathing on all of them, and they are all now actually able to swim back again.
Which one of you are part of the Pancioni family, and which one's a part of the Swivel Gang?
So Sonny the kid, the Dragonborn, who was speaking up the first time round, he says, "Hey, of course I'm part of the Pancioni family. It's me. I'm a Dragonborn. How are the many Dragonborns you've seen down here?" And the human and the Aarakocra look kind of sort of shamefully abashed and uncomfortable to be associated with this Dragonborn kid who's clearly too far up himself for good measure. On the other side of it, the 3 dwarfs, this is Doyle O'Foyle, Boyle O'Foyle, and Orla O'Foyle, part of the Dwarven O'Foyle clan, we'd never be part of that bloody Pancioni family. These guys, we're part of the Swiveland gang. So you don't you go associating us with those there guys.
In the meantime, I've brought Dr. Crud III and Boltzmann, and all of us are in this room together. Just to avoid splitting the party, and because mechanics and other things.
Well, I would assume you brought everybody through.
Yeah.
The telepathic bond does not have a range limit, so we can speak even if the party is split.
Oh, nice. Okay. All right.
Okay, so in my mind, everyone was still in the waterlogged, water-trapped cavern, and Crud wasn't in there. Crud definitely knows what's going on. But we haven't left yet.
Jenny can't swim, so you need to bring everybody over here.
All right. Okay, I bring help.
Well, I've got bad news for you 3. I point to the human Aarakocra and Dragonborn. The Pancioni family has been run out of town, so we'll take you back and then you can take your leave.
Okay, good, no problem. I was leaving the option there for you guys to leave them there. But okay, good. You're feeling generous. So okay, everybody heads out of the thing. The dwarves are looking pretty buoyant, pretty pleased with themselves, pretty chuffed to their nuts because you've just given the Pancioni mob a good talking to. They're clearly on the back foot. And you head on out of the mine. You jump in the wagon and you head back to town.
Well, so once we're all reconnected with Dr. Crud III on this side of the water thing, Olive, telepathically to her friends, right?
Okay.
So where's the money?
Well, we have a bag full of minerals, and that's the money. And we'll tell Jimmy about the minerals. He can send people down here to harvest it. There's his money. We're all good. We're all golden.
I believe Jimmy offered to compensate us.
But my problem is that I'm not actually golden.
All right, well, we'll get Jimmy. We'll tell Jimmy we know all the information, but we do need a piece of his profits. and then you'll get some passive income for whatever we can negotiate, and then you'll be golden.
All right.
How's that sound?
Yeah,
Rich
that
dad,
sounds
poor dad.
okay. That sounds like some actual gold. Good.
Plus, when I sell off these spider body parts, and I'm using the eggs, I'm gonna have a growth clinic now with these eggs, and so there's gonna be some money coming in from that, and then we're selling off. I'm gonna use the glowy rocks. I'm gonna use that as a growth clinic, and you're gonna be a lot of growth people, and they're gonna all pay me to do this, and so we have passive income for that too.
Okay, we've got
Split.
a plan. We're gonna head back to Jimmy Swivel Hands.
Cool. On the way back to Jimmy Swivelhands. Brilliant. Yeah, so you're all in the wagon. The Pancioni people are looking pretty sorry for themselves in the back of the wagon. Sonny the kid's like still sitting there fuming and screaming. You can tell he's not happy about the situation. The other two, not so much. The other two, by the way, just because I really enjoyed both of their names. The Aracocker was called Screaming Michaela, and the human was Mr. Terrence Splitface. So...
did we want to drop these three off at the sheriff's station so they can get locked up too, since they were part of the whole kidnapping plot? Get the entire Sposadon family locked up?
Well, if we are going to judge people by association, then we could lock the whole world up.
Well, I mean, that doesn't stop law enforcement anyway. If you're part of the family, then you're guilty of the crime. So, I mean, it's up to you guys. I don't care.
They didn't actually do the crime, though. They just, had friends. So, I don't know. I think you have to be present at the part of the crime or the planning of it, and they're just underlings. So they didn't plan and they didn't participate because they were in the mine during the participation phase. So...
Well, we also don't know how long they were down there, and this guy is a Dragonborn, so he might have been part of the planning.
It's possible.
Let's leave it up to Jimmy Swivelhands and treat it as a test of his character.
Yeah, he's the sheriff. That's right. That's the point of a sheriff, is they actually, do things.
All right, off to Sheriff Jimmy.
Okay. And by the way, I've still paid 500 gold for all the alcohol in town, and I'm sure someone lives here other than these two gang members and the terrible sheriff and deputy. So, let's end this with a big party. So, Olive's going to leave because she's terrible at negotiations and let Dr. Crud III and Boltzmann negotiate this, and she's going to go to the bar and arrange for the large town party to elect Sheriff Swivelhands. So you guys continue this part without me.
Go find old Captain Crusty. It's not a party without old Captain Crusty.
Okay, I look for him. Yeah, you guys continue without me for the negotiations. Trust me being there won't help.
All right, have fun, Olive. We'll see you on the flip side.
All right.
We go to Jimmy.
Cool. So you pull up outside the theatre, the Cabaret Theatre, which was as close. You jump out the wagon. You head indoors. The three dwarves rattle on up the stairs, burst the door open, and go, "Hey, Jimmy, we're here. We're back. We're all good. We're okay." And you hear cheers and whoops of joy from the rest of the Jimmy Swivel gang in there as you cart. What the Pancioni guys? What have you done to them? Are they just sat in there? Have you tied them up? What's the situation?
Olive likes her handcuffs. We'll just have them handcuffed.
Cool. So they're handcuffed. You've got them sort of kind of between you guys. Boltzmann's rolling up the left hand side, Crud's up the right, and the three Pancionis are kind of shuffling forlornly along between them. You bring them up into the foyer of the theatre, and you go, and Jimmy and the rest of the gang are at the stairs, hugging and congratulating each other and having a great time. The dwarfs are extolling the values of the fire-breathing kittens. They say you guys saved them, they saved their lives, and they killed the spiders, and they found the minerals, and these guys are just heroes. So, what happens next?
All right, Jimmy, we have some negotiations to do. You up for that?
Yeah, sure, of course, Mr. Crud, of course, Dr. Crud. What is it? What are you thinking? What are you saying?
All right, number one, these three are for you to do as you need to. Sheriff Jimmy. So if you want to lock them up, let them go. It's all up to you. So that's you. We just need the handcuffs back. 2, we do need to broach payment. All you gotta do is go down there, grab your mineral, sell it off. So we would like 25%.
So, whoa, hey, slow down, boy, slow down. So what is it you pulled out of that place?
First, I'm not a boy. I'm Dr. Crud.
Okay.
Say it.
Okay, Dr. Crud.
Okay. So down there is a meteorite. It glows. You'll be able to sell it for cash. And all we want is 25% because we did rescue your people. We cleared out the caves.
Well, okay, so I see some rocks there glowing away in your backpack, Dr. Crud. Is that what you're talking about?
No, this is not. Okay, just point of order. The rocks are in the hole, not in the backpack. So he could not see it at all.
Okay, so those, but they look like some kind of egg you got in your backpack. What's that all about?
Oh, that's spider eggs.
Oh, of what?
They're spider eggs. This is for medical purposes.
Oh, so what? There was spiders down there.
Not anymore.
And this is a giant phase spider with a tire on a floating disc behind me.
Good, sweet Jesus, says Jimmy as he sees the giant phase spider that Boltzmann has just dragged in behind him. Well, goddamn, I'm glad we didn't go down there anymore.
Now you know why we're asking for 25%.
Okay. I'm not going to argue with you guys. You guys done a great job. You got my boys back. You sorted out the Pancioni family. You've left us with all the money, all the minerals, all the stuff we could ever need. We can build ourselves the biggest orphanage you've ever seen, or at least I've ever seen. So, okay, you guys, you take what you want. You keep what you want. You get 25% of that mineral.
All right. Just send it to this address in Nicomoy, and we're good to go.
One other question. So what actually happened to Mama Pancioni? Where's she gone?
Oh, she's in jail. I locked her up.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So the Pancioni mansion is completely empty.
Yes.
Hey, okay. Boys.
You don't have to worry about the suppository family anymore.
Well, no. So I don't think you understand that. The Pancionis, they're one of the richest families from back where we come from.
No, they're not. Oh, but I'm not there. But they didn't have the money to hire us. But yeah, so they're in debt. It's all.
Oh, yeah. Dr. Crud does remember that. So he says, no, they're actually poor. They had to kidnap us.
Yeah.
Boltzmann will telepathically relay the information to Olive. All the compliments to full conversation. She's got to be here, and so she can weigh in with her opinion if she wants to.
Hey, so no. You don't understand, Dr. Crud. You're missing it. Just because they didn't want to pay you the money doesn't mean they don't have enough money for themselves already.
Well, it's neither here nor there. They're locked up. They're gone. They're in jail. They're not even an issue anymore.
Okay. All right,
Dr. Crud.
Yes?
I believe the sheriff is suggesting that we ransack the Pancioni's mansion.
Eminent domain, says a voice in your minds.
Okay, we'll take the house too.
Okay. Hey, there you go, Dr. Crud. Don't jump to conclusions. Your boy Boltzmann there, he just made you some money. So, okay, so the Jimmy Swivelhands lets your sheriff, Jimmy Swivelhands, lets you guys wander off. He looks after the whole of the Pancioni gang. Unfortunately, some of them have got to share cells while they wait for the prison wagon to come and pick them off and take them off to their trials, because obviously there is a very solid justice system in Nicomoy, and they all will go through a very fair and just trial full of evidence and reports and testimonies that you gave. And you guys wander off to the Pancioni mansion, and through your rooting, rummaging and pillaging, you find a big old chest full of gold, gems and cash that these guys have been using to feed their way for the last few months.
Why didn't they just hire us?
Rich people don't get rich by paying people money to do stuff.
If we can sway the elections with our rumor sowing, which is on, I think, on page 1. I closed the book. I've got the book next to me. But basically, there is a DC 15 charisma check. So, Dr. Crud III, can you roll for the hiring of for the new sheriff in town getting elected?
I sure can.
And what's the rumor?
And I get advantage, right?
No.
I will give you.
Okay.
I will enhance your charisma to do this.
Okay, go. Good. But I think I still beat it.
Some eagle pheromones.
Right now with Constitution, you said Constitution or Charisma?
Yeah, it can be persuasion or deception.
Oh, yeah, Persuasion. I get a +5. That's easy 19.
Easy
Yay.
19. Great.
With advantage?
Yeah. No,
No
That
advantage.
was
No.
Enhance gives you advantage. So
okay.
So-
So that's 16. So yeah, we'll stick with the 19.
Cool. So, as the vote for who is to be the new sheriff is enforced by the fire-breathing kittens that have come into town,
Bribe with whiskey.
the whole populace of the town accumulates and cast their votes.
If you vote, you get a bottle of wine. That's all we're saying.
What's the policy on votes for prisoners?
They don't get them.
Do prisoners get votes?
No.
Felons do not have the right to vote, so the Panchoni family can't vote.
I think they should be allowed to vote.
Me too, but that's not how it works in real life.
Well, they're not convicted felons, they're accused felons. And currently, as far as I understand it, innocent till proven guilty.
Let's not rob people of their democratic rights.
So although it looks pretty bad for the Panchoni family and we don't see them getting out there, they haven't been officially convicted. Do they still get a vote?
Have they paid their bail?
No, they haven't paid their bail. No, you stole all their money, so they've got nothing to pay the bail with.
No,
let's face it, though. There's 6 members of the Panchoni family. Even if they did have their votes, it would not be enough to. So I know there's 8 members of the 7. It would not be enough to sway the votes of the remaining populace.
Screaming Michaela, here's a bottle of whiskey. You vote how you want.
You know, you well spotted there. Screaming Michaela was pretty jaded with the whole Panchoni family ethos, so she switched her vote to your side already.
Mr. Terrence Splitface, how's your dog? I know you had the most lovely golden retriever. How you doing, Mr. Terrence Splitface, the human Panchoni member? Politics. You just remember their name and their face and their family member. You give them a bottle of wine to vote.
Unfortunately, Terrence Splitface is a psychotic sociopath. He has no interest in your alcohol, your promise of puppies, or anything else. He is a Panchoni family devotee, and he will continue to vote for the way of the front of the existing sheriff.
All right.
The sheriff votes for the existing sheriff. Koodlemouse doesn't. Koodlemouse does actually vote for somebody new, and literally the entire remaining populace follow your rumor of voting for Jimmy Swivelhands as the new sheriff. However, the populace was actually just the Swivel Gang and Scrope McFlanagan. That was it anyway. So it goes through as a pass of 7 votes to 12. Jimmy Silverhands is the new sheriff. Sheriff Zonderkop is cast out of town, disgraced, with nowhere to go and no one to see, and he just sort of shuffles off alone and dejected into the sunset. And that, I think, ladies and gentlemen, is where we will finish our story for today. Any final thoughts?
Yay.
If he would have just did his job, this would never have happened.
It would never have happened.
And how much gold did we eminent domain, apparently?
So I'll be honest with you, I didn't check beforehand on what the gold... I was looking at the gold values on a per level basis, but I didn't write down how much you were going to get off the back of that. So we will tally that up post-game session. But I think, Olive, suffice to say, you will no longer be in, either debt or, your bank account will have a pretty healthy positive balance after this little session.
Yay, I was in debt. That's good. Don't burn down buildings, kids.
Bosman will suggest a Swivelhands orphanage create an orphan exchange program with the Cookie Castle orphanage in Nicomoy, since those guys know how to run a business. And it's going to be beneficial for both of them.
Jimmy Swivel says, "Hey, Boltzmann, that's a great idea, my boy. That's a great idea. We will do exactly that."
I'm a giant glowing brain.
You're welcome.
Awesome. So, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Joining us today were Dr. Crud.
If he would have done his job better, this never would have happened.
Boltzmann?
I am a giant glowing brain.
And Olive.
Deputy Cooler Mouse, swing vote.
Ladies and gentlemen, catch you next time.
The 1920s, a time of dance, fun, and crime. The Prohibition has banned alcoholic beverages across the United States of America, creating a powerful criminal underbelly of speakeasies and smuggling. Nestled by the Canadian border, our glowing city has its fair share of speakeasies, with a special twist. Angels patrol the streets. Police officers shoot lightning from their palms. The dead come back to life. This magical community gathers at the Hole in the Wall, an exclusive speakeasy for broads and stiffs like them. Our heroes manage this business under the watchful eye of the Audimari family mafia, as they uncover strange mysteries and deep conspiracies. Can our heroes bring justice and truth to light? Probably not. The Hole in the Wall, an actual play City of Mist podcast.
Are you looking for a new podcast where celebrities interview celebrities or exhaustively talk about shows they used to be on? Well, you're in luck. There are lots of those out there. But if you're looking for something fun, fresh, and hilarious, check out our show History Defeats Itself, part of the Sonar network of podcasts. Join along as three guys that fell asleep during history class bring you a comedy podcast about their quest for meaning. Each episode, we dive into a single topic that will range from the mundane to the fascinating. Only one of us does the research, and the other two have no idea what the topic is going to be until it's revealed on the show. In every episode, we will trace the origin, discuss the present-day impact, and attempt to forecast the future, all in an effort to determine if our subject has been a success or if it's another example of how history defeats itself. Join our growing community of Mystorians and download History Defeats Itself today wherever you get your podcasts.